All right, man. So I don't know if you saw yesterday, Gonad, because I think you're there right now. You might have run away right after doing the emote. But we built a hot knife without measuring anything, and it doesn't quite work. It kind of works, not quite. I could redesign it a little bit to be hotter, better, faster, stronger. But the whole point of what we did yesterday was to build a hot knife so that I can get into my Bosch ABS module. This particular brand of car decided that Bosch should have carte blanche in terms of designing the ABS. You missed some hot knife action. Knife on knife action. No, it's not knife on knife action. It's just hot knife action. Yeah, it's okay. I what is it? I missed your stream too, so. All right, hold on. I gotta go through these and calibrate all my cameras to make sure that they work properly. God, I got a hair swoosh today. How's that looking? Ooh, 1990s music video. Hold on. Let's do. So we built a hot knife. It doesn't quite hold on to the heat the way that I want it to, and it doesn't quite cut plastic. So I'm gonna have to either supplement that with a torch, or we're gonna have to get creative. There we go. Let's do the procedure again. My face light didn't turn on. Something happened last night. I just hit lights toggle and only the desk turned on. So I think I need to go through the IP addresses. I think there might have been a power blip that could have taken out all of my online stuff. That, or I need to schedule like restarts for it all. What about Kanye? No, I'm not getting canceled. And I'm not talking fucking nonsense. But yeah, we gotta make a hot knife and we gotta get into the Bosch ABS unit that has a very unique and potential, I mean, I would almost call it experimental, but I mean, it's not experimental. It's this ceramic circuit board that for some reason they decided to use. And I know the reason. The reason is because it's right next to the exhaust of the engine, so it gets hot. It gets extremely hot in that location. So people make aftermarket heat shields for the ABS unit, but that's not necessarily why. That's not why it fails. It doesn't fail because of heat. In my opinion, IMHO, in my engineering opinion, the reason that the ABS module fails is because they decided to use, hey, Keeper of Maps, thank you for the 34-month streak. Keeper of Maps, also keeper of suggesting raids to other channels. What do you think about marriage? Are you asking me? We could finally settle down. What do you, I mean, maybe. Anyway, so the ABS module is something this is done fairly commonly for like solid state relays that sit in a cabinet that don't vibrate, right? They sit in a cabinet and it's stable and it might get hot in there, or the solid state relay might get hot. And so what they do is they deposit all the silicon directly down on a piece of ceramic and they use gold bonding wires to bond everything together. Then they squidge a bunch of gel all over the thing to keep the environment out. Now this works. This works in an industrial environment that gets hot. Bosch said, this gets hot, let's do that. So they did that, and they made a completely like horrible to service circuit board that is a ceramic circuit board with gold bonding wires and a gel all over everything. Problem is, cars vibrate. They vibrate all over the place. And so that gel ends up vibrating a bunch, and you get, for your ductile gold bonding wires that are supposed to be able to move around, they have to exist in this environment right here. And the problem with this environment right here is that it's constantly moving. Now, this is an exaggeration, obviously, but what that leads to is the bonding wires will eventually break. And so we have to get into my ABS module in order to service it. So we got to get into the sealed portion of the ABS module. Lucky for us, this thing is totally and easy to get off of the car and clean. This is just an environmental seal. There's no oil or anything inside of this. This just staples onto the side of it. Look at this autofocus going psycho. That staples onto the ABS module. Let's just do the calibration on this thing. That staples onto the ABS module, and then the magnets activate the solenoids or the pump, which are the two contacts down there. And that gives you your anti-lock brake systems. And then all of the cables plug into the top of this thing right here. The only annoying thing about this is that I can't get to this part. And that's sort of like the action area that we really need to get to. So, all right. So what am I doing? I am doing camera calibrations. This one's looking good. No autofocus. Good. All right. Microscope. Gonna need this today. Good old Bosch, yeah. Bosch has had a storied past with automotive technology. All right, now we got to get my lights working. Now, what is this in here? What up, that your fan? Hey, now you have, there's your badge. What up, what up, what up? Yeah, it's the stupid lights. This one works. Let's go to 11. I just give these a little IP pool that they exist in, and for some reason, and it might have been, it shouldn't be this computer restarting. Everything in the shop is like asleep. It's like struggling to wake up. Look at that, I clicked the button. Bro. All right, restart yourself. I think 13 and 14, I think, are the lighthouses. Oops, not 148. I need to make a script that restarts all of these. I could probably do it in Node-RED, but like the ones that are offline. If it's offline, I don't know if I can send it a restart. Yeah, the neighbor's garage. There was a commercial that did that. It was a decent. It was an insurance commercial where, well, the desk light actually works, right? Yeah, it works instantly. Okay, that one's fine. Oh, except for the capacitive controls. Ugh, ugh. I wish I could put the whole fader on Tasmota, but now I can tell my arts and crafts projects to stay still forever. What? What did I say? What did I say? Sometimes I say things and I don't realize what I'm saying. Okay, these should be reload. Oh, the hot glue gun emote, yeah. I'm keeping that one. Okay, why aren't these restarting properly? I need these lights to work. Well, the game light is also messed up. God, what is up with these things lately? I got a new router and everything's a little weird. Maryland COVID thing just tried to be hit with a test. Gobble till you wobble, but first get your flu shot. Well, I got part of that right. I don't know. Yeah, the DHCP pool or something, but all the lights seem like sluggish. I don't know if they all restarted at the same time and then fought or something, but yeah, gobble till you wobble, everyone, but also get your flu shots. You know, that's sound advice. Yeah, I took a whole notepad and I wrote down what everyone's pool would be. The 10s are specifically for the smart home stuff. So I don't know what's happening. They were fine on the other router. It's just on this one, they seem to have some issue. And I'm not about to go up into the ceiling to restart the track lights. Why aren't these restarting? Why? Help me. I need my lights to work. You look like a young Steve Wozniak. It's just because today my hair decided to do this swoop. I don't get that a lot. I get a lot of, or when I didn't have a beard, I got a lot of Samwise Gamgee's similarities. I'm like pretty hungover right now, so my eyes are like sunken into my head. Oh my God, please come back, Tasmota stuff. I don't know why they have such issues lately. Al Borland, oh God. I don't think so, Tim. This is just what I'm looking at right now. I'm just looking at this. Why did the Tasmota devices take so long to restart? Maybe. Thank you. I'm trying to get the lights working right now. It would be a little bit more visible if that were the case. Can I go here? That's okay. That one works. So we'll have enough light to work. It's just my face light is being an asshole right now. I think the shirt makes me look a little bit like Al, but I'm starting to lose weight. The puppy is making me lose weight. She's sleeping upstairs. I was late because she fell asleep on my lap, and you're not allowed to move when you have a puppy asleep on your lap, especially a corgi puppy. So that's why we're starting a little bit late. She's a wonderful dog, but she has me, and I'm actually at the point where my muscles have adjusted. I'm no longer feeling like sore and annoyed going for walks. I'm actually seeking it out. I'm like, come on, puppy, let's go for a long walk. Feels good. Feels good to get active again. And I think I'm dropping weight. I might be dropping my pants because my belt is fitting a little bit more loosely. I still have a lot of mass to get rid of, though. I'm storing quite a bit right in front of my body. My stomach is obscene. I need to get rid of it. But who knows if that'll happen or not. I have two cousins that are like, we're like, the three of us are like clones of one another. Same like facial hair, hairstyle, different hair colors, but like we're all the same body build. It's just pervasive genetics, and it sucks. It sucks. My body is just like, hey, you're a British peasant. Let's store as much fat as possible so you make it through the winter. And I'm like, please stop. Food is so abundant here. And my body's like, corn sugar? I can definitely turn that into fat. Why doesn't anything load? What's happening? I can at least unplug and plug back in the face cam. So annoying. Unplug, plug back in. That thing will probably work now. It's the track light up there that I can't get to. I can't actually get to that. I can open that panel over there, but it's pretty much just like, I think it's hardwired into, where did I wire it to? What did I wire it to? Oh, I think I wired it to the plug. Shit. Nothing wrong with a plump British peasant. Yes, there's plenty wrong with it. My heart is not going to be happy with it. In my heart of hearts, that's what my body thinks it is, but in my actual heart, it's having some issues. It's not, I'm not actually having heart problems. It's just, you know, that shit'll catch up. I like these because they give me full specs on what's going on. 0.084 kilowatt hours. Oh my God. Yeah, these are cool. They give me all these stats. This is very orbital sounding. Punch your heart until it cooperates. You should talk, Mr. Uncooperative Heart. You're fucking using electroshock therapy on that fucker. All right, let's see here. So I guess my devices are fucking dead. I don't know what to do about that. Mine gets punched every second or so. Oh my God. And metal bits? Oh, geez, that's... Let's just look at the Jell-O and not think about how all of our inevitable demises. Oh, then my glucose level is also responding to the burger that I had for lunch. Yes, I'm not American. I had a burger for lunch. How American are you? Well, I had a burger for lunch. Now, the puppy can come downstairs, but she doesn't know how to operate stairs, so I don't know if she will decide to come down here or not. I mean, she's perfectly welcome to, but I don't know if there's any appeal other than being in the same room with me while I'm shouting. She was sleeping in her bed, though, and I think people will be coming home and will address her in a minute. She was being extra cuddly, though, so I had to postpone. I had a bunch of seizures last night. Ah, Jesus Christ, dude. everything feels weirdly dreamlike. I get that. Like I've had that happen where I've passed out, like with hypoglycemia. A couple times I've gotten close to, well, death. You get close to death. Your body doesn't have enough sugar to operate, and it just. And I've only passed out from it once, but I get into a state where, for instance, if I'm having a conversation, like I was having a conversation with coworkers, and I would say something so avant-garde that they didn't know how to react, and you get like kind of weird nervous laughs from it, like haha, that's funny joke, go bother, I guess, I don't know. And then, you know, I'm like, to me it makes perfect sense what I'm saying. It's because your brain just sort of says everything's going fine, everything's fine, but like coming out of that is like coming out into a dreamlike state. If everything's weird, obviously, because dreams are like that. It's wild. Yeah, the brain is a weird piece of equipment, that's for sure. But yeah, I sort of know the feeling that you're talking about. I would hate to have that more often though. MRI scheduled this winter. Yeah. Fix that brain. Brain's a very complicated piece of equipment, according to the brain. According to the brain. It's the brain that really says that, so I don't know. I'm listening to see whether or not people get home, and I can close the door upstairs. Oh, sounds like people are home. Hold on, I'm gonna mute. All right, door's closed. I don't know if we're gonna get the track light back today. We don't necessarily need it. It just makes my background kind of dark. The as built for a brain is done. Yeah, Mark 1 brain sucks, man. You should upgrade to a Mark 2. Can you imagine if that was a thing? You just upgrade your brain. I gotta go into the brain shop later today. I gotta get a new brain. Things are a little fuzzy right now. Speak of the devil, here's nothing's working. In chat. My brain is soup. Croutons? Yeah, one of the croutons bounces into the corner of the screen at you have a thought. Yellow. Setting up my brain cluster. Hey, I've got enough 32-bit microcontrollers now. If we can take those over, that I might be able to make a decent brain. At least a somewhat functional brain, unlike what I have. Whatever it is, blame me. No, we're talking about brains and how they don't work. And then nothing's working comes into chat. Hey! Okay, take your goddamn time. It's not like I just clicked your toggle button on your this is your interface. Why? It's like extremely slow. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, bleh. Why is it so slow? Connection timed out. What the F, man? What the F? These things were working perfectly fine. Now it's just chaos. I'm gonna get a pitcher of water. I'll be right back. Yeah, bodies are gross. Bodies are really gross. So like, what happens when we combine them with electricity and electromechanical stuff? All right, we need to get started. Although I like this mix. Lee Majors, everybody. Clap, 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 golf clap. Yeah. What's going on? I'm a little out of sorts today, but we'll get through it. We are doing the same thing that we were. These fucking things. That my lighting isn't coming on, so this is off for now. We are still servicing a Bosch ABS module. Here, we don't need the computer today. I can go to this camera. My ABS went out. It just stopped working. And I thought it was the sensor, and we looked at the sensor several times. The computer said it was the sensor. We actually ended up putting the sensor on the oscilloscope. I only discover after I do all this stuff that you can pop off the back of the plug and you can put lead wires in there. So I could have actually taken the multimeter without even going into the wheel well, which I have done now 8 or 7 times. Without even going into the wheel well, I could pop off the back of the connector and I could have used jumper wires to get into specific test lead locations that are there in order to basically decipher what's wrong with the ABS module. I didn't have to do all of the, jacking the car up, all the jacking that I've done lately. I've got a problem. My palms are getting a little hairy from it. But putting the car up, taking the wheel off, lugging that thing over to the side, getting behind the thing, taking the thing out, putting the thing back in, plugging it, unplugging it, blah, blah, blah. Didn't have to do any of that. I could have popped off the back of the ABS connector, which is right in the front of the engine bay, and I could have hooked up an oscilloscope to it, and I could have seen the square wave. I probably would have had to jack up the car so that I could spin the wheel and just see that that sensor is working. There's like whole detailed test procedures of what you can do in order to basically diagnose this problem. This is why I like the particular types of cars that I own, which are sort of 2000s BMWs, because they are so well known that people even know the memory addresses of the ECU. And you can find procedures for everything. It's just a bunch of broken photo bucket links, but at least the procedure is there for you to look at. These things are like, it's like a dream to have one because you know every procedure in detail. The problem is Bosch, in all their infinite wisdom in the early 2000s, decided to take cues from industrial manufacturers. And what industrial manufacturers do in a high heat scenario where you need electronics is they take a plate of ceramic with a bunch of traces on it, and then they deposit all of their components using an aluminum, I think it's aluminum type of solder, and then they use gold bonding wires to go from chip to trace. They put the chip directly on this piece of ceramic, and then they use these little gold bonding wires. So there's machines that'll deposit those wires for you. You buy a big reel of wire, and you have this cool like crosshair thing that you maneuver in like an optic. You maneuver a crosshair. You go, that's 0.1, and you go over to the other one. You go, that's 0.2, and the machine goes chink chink. Because what it does is, I think in the Bosch it uses piezoelectric elements to do it, but on like chips and stuff, it will take the wire and it'll hold the wire out, right? It'll hold the wire out and it'll deposit it straight down onto the silicon substrate, but it holds a little piece of wire out. So what it does is it crushes that down, and that makes a little ball at the bottom, and it cold welds the wire on. So we have a bunch of those, and then in order to keep the environment out of that whole setup, because that's important, what they'll do is they'll take a gel, a dielectric gel that doesn't respond to high voltage and water and stuff, and they basically just squidge that shit all over everything. So Bosch said, that's cool. And so they did that. They did that in the ABS module. There's a bunch of very complicated microcontrolling kind of thingies inside of this thing. And what they do is they take the amalgamation of all the sensors, including wheel angle, tilt, like a vehicle tilt, and 4 wheel speeds, brake pressure, a lot of different stuff. It takes the amalgamation of all these sensors and it says, we're not quite heading in the right direction, and it'll start pulsing the brakes, depending on what direction it thinks you should be heading in. If it thinks you're sliding or, stuff like that. Very intelligent, smart system, works really well, keeps you alive, all that boring crap. But Bosch said, we can make this high temperature because of this technology. Let's try. So they, this works great. what they didn't consider is that that dielectric gel acts like Jello. It acts like Jello. And when you have something that acts like Jello with even a ductile gold bonding wire like it has, the action of the motor jiggles it. Because cars are not vibration free. In fact, they are the least vibration free, aside from like a rocket ship, common device. So, you know, your gold bonding wires and your little cold welds are being jiggled all over the place with varying pressure as that gel substance gets shook around by the motor, which is containing little tiny explosions. And so eventually stuff starts going wrong. Now, that's not to say that, like, I mean, this thing has probably lasted 100,000 miles, but it has gone wrong. And so there's two ways to deal with it. One is you throw it in the bin and you find another one. You find another one. They're expensive and they're getting more rare as time goes on. About $200 for a rebuild. And I think some places give you something like $20 to $70 as a core fee to send in your core to them and get it repaired. And that's not all that unreasonable. That's actually a really decent price. And then you're out of ABS for a couple days, a couple weeks. The other one, if you find a junkyard ABS unit, and then you still have that ticking clock going on, but if you find a junkyard ABS unit, you have to code it to your car. And so you need the computer in order to be able to code that ABS module to your VIN number. I have the computer. I have it. It's behind me. I have all the software. So I guess I could do that too. But the more fun approach in my mind is to uncap the ABS unit and repair the individual trace that's giving you trouble. That is to say, I don't even know if it is this unit that's wrong yet. It could maybe be something else, but I'm not too certain it is something else. The one singular sensor that's giving me trouble is the driver's front, the left front sensor. And so that's the second row of pins. We've got them numbered. We know what all the pins do. We just need to get the cap off of the top of this thing. And yesterday, we spent some time machining. On my broken milling machine, we machined a piece of steel, of mild steel, that was approximately the right shape to staple onto the front of the soldering iron and hold an actual X-Acto blade. Now, I need to change the blade, and I still need to break the blade in this manner. And what I'd like to do is see if I can use some circlips to just staple the front of this thing to the metal so that we get better contact, a little bit better heat into this thing. And then we'll try to use this to cut along this edge and open up the ABS module. And then we can actually test to see if stuff works or not. And we can take a look at it on the microscope too, which will be pretty cool. But I think if I can find like an E-clip like this, that'll clip this thing together a little bit more, I think we'll be in good shape. So let's give it a go. Let's try this. Old blade behind to give it some support. I guess I could do that. But I mean, really what I need to do, because I need this edge. I need the more blunt edge. Man, these are really magnetic, aren't they? Somebody messaged me on that old dead social media platform. What was it called? Oh, Twitter. Yeah, on Twitter. And they asked me what I did about my Worth screwdrivers getting magnetized. And I'm like, nothing. Like, I didn't do anything. No, it's the other one in the graveyard. Twitter. God. All the Twitter people are in a panic lately because like a lot of the workforce is quitting. I wonder what's going to happen. Should be interesting. These screwdrivers are very, very magnetic. Not that I mind. Wow, look at this thing. It's all like blued from the heat. Cool. Very cool. Now this would probably, there's a couple things here. Yeah, it's gonna die. I don't know what's gonna happen. Interesting times. But rest assured, once whatever happens, everyone's gonna say that they called it. Everyone's gonna say, yeah, that was inevitable. We saw it a million miles away. No matter what happens. So the thing we made has blued quite a bit. There was a little bit of oil on it, and that kind of baked off. A couple things that are kind of wrong with this thing right now. The heat isn't getting all the way out here, and it could maybe be mitigated by a little bit more contact over here. I think this grub screw is most of the contact. It really should be forcing this thing up against the side wall, but I don't think it's as good as it could be. I could use like a 3mm grub there. I could drill that out and put a big grub screw on it, and that way it would facilitate the heat transfer a little better. This should probably be thinner and or go further up the blade, and possibly just get the blade closer to the heat. I think that's one of the things, because right now it's just acting like a big heat sink and dissipating all the heat. The back of the blade's getting quite hot, but yeah, having it surround a little better. Also, this up here, while it keeps the blade from tilting, it does not hold the blade against the hot part, and so I need that in order to facilitate the transfer of heat. We'll try putting a circlip just on the, like an E-clip, just right on the edge, like on the end, and just see if that'll help. Yeah, probably not going to die in this short term. It'll just be changed into like an advertising engine, kind of like MySpace. Now it's just a house to like small bands and stuff. Let's get this thing away so I don't accidentally use my good tip. This is a tip that no longer takes like a tin, so I decided to use it as a mutant blade holder. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what we can do here. I have a massive headache right now, by the way. I need to drink water. Why is no? Why don't you just come in here and insult me? I don't go to your whatever and insult you. Come on. Try to be nice. You don't even know what we're talking about. We were talking about dead social media, so like, whatever. It's not even a boomer platform. All the millennials were on it. What the hell? Alright, so these are the shortest screws that I have. That's going to hold the blade in. And then we'll try to get a clip on the end of this. Now these, even just buying a kit of E-clips is, oh, that was meant at you? But yeah, what Father said. Yeah, my righteous indignation. It was an appropriate comment, though. All right, so we wanna clip this thing in. I don't know if these will work. Those are too big. We need the little ones. Even just buying a kit of these things is so dangerous. Like, I hate these things so much. These E-clips, they'll freaking like fly into your eye sockets. I don't know who's using clips that are this big. It's ridiculous. What would you do with this? I bought a kit because I figured somewhere along the line I'm going to start losing these things. You know, we find a lot of devices that are held together with these things. Especially like tools. Is that? Yeah, it's like the blade is like coming out of this thing. Damn it. I need it to hold against the iron here. I'll extend it a little bit and that'll hold it flat, and then maybe we can get a clip on the top. Like sniper E-clips. Is that a game? Is that already a title of some kind of a game? Sniper Eclipse? I think it probably is. Like an early 2000s war game where you're just Joe Badass Sniper Man. I have one job to do, and that's to get to the end of this video game without dying. These are exactly the size. The opening is exactly the size. It's not actually putting any pressure on it. Damn it! We gotta go a size smaller, and it's probably gonna end up exploding. Yep, here they are. These are the ones that are gonna lodge into my retina from 1,000 miles away. They'll bounce off of 2 walls. But that won't be enough to dissipate all the energy, and then these things will fly directly into my eye socket. And into my brain. We'll see. I mean, hopefully these will do the trick. Try using a wrench to put it together. Some pliers, rather. Plurs. Well, that'll hold pressure on it for sure. If I can get it on. It's just about the right size, too. Western movie. Pyong. 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 Eh. Okay, the amount of pressure that I'm putting on this thing right now is concerning. Oh, but it is actually going on. Damn it. I should have seen that one coming. There, let's go back in here. Yeah! You guys a slightly better view of what I'm actually doing here. trying to get a clip onto the end of this of a freaking blade. I should probably retract it a little bit more though. I do want to get that heat into the cutting part of the blade. Now the split in the blade is not exactly working in our favor. Can't really get a Phillips head very tight, can you? Yeah, if I could just push this against the heating element, that will help me vastly. Only problem is I don't know how to get pressure into this thing without cutting myself. Cut myself into pieces. Well, this will at least hold pressure on it, that's for sure. The amount of energy that I have to put in order to engage the clip is indicative of that. The more I handle this thing, the less I trust that I'm not going to kill myself with it. Damn it. It keeps going. He's going cockeyed. All right, hold on. We can do this. Yeah, it's a real safety squint kind of situation, huh? I'm just trying to make the best of my hot knife. Hot knives in your area. Grab it. And then press it really hard. Jesus Christ. Damn it. Come on. Go over the front. Ah! Dear God! Did you guys see that thing fly away? It's on the floor somewhere. Oh, Torx is definitely the strongest of the screwdriver bits. It's the best. Torx bits are the best. They do not, that's a bad omen, yeah. It flew off with more energy than I thought I was putting into it. That is a bad omen. No, this will go great. Everything will be fine. We're gonna work. It'll work. It'll work great. My eye! That is a drop. You're correct. You're correct, sir. Yeah, Torx are... And a friend of mine once bought a German set of Torx drivers, and they came with a whole dissertation about why Torx is the superior fastener. And I agree. I agree with it. Because they are, you know, have you ever stripped a Torx bit? I think I have once. But they're just such a good torquing device. They're very good at sort of applying torque to stuff. Screwdriver heads, that is. Yeah, I love me a good Torx, because they engage nicely, they kind of hold on. And if you don't have a Torx bit on you, you can just use a flathead a lot of the time. Security Torx bits are great for comedy, too. Does it count as a drop if it went to orbit? That's true. That's the opposite of a drop. Yeah, that is true. Please. I think it's going to do the same thing as the other one. Okay. My confidence is not exactly high, but that is holding this against the iron. It's almost like it's named after its defining feature. I didn't think about that. I didn't, you know, hey, that is true. that is true. All right, so can we actually get the lid off of this thing now? Let's take a look at one of the ones that has already been decapped, and let's see where they cut. I know, once it gets hot, it's gonna fling it off right into my fucking nostril, and I'll end up with an E-clip in my lung. I always knew that was the way I'd go out. I just, you know, I didn't think it would be so soon. Here's one that's already been opened up, and we need to see where they cut it. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the right, hold on, I got the wrong window up. Hold on, that's the wrong window, that's not the right window. This one. No, that's not it either. That's not it either. No. Okay, here's ones that have been opened up. Let's see here. Yeah, here's the whole testing procedure. What they didn't tell you is that this connector here has a... Excuse me. This connector right here has a backing that you can remove in order to do all these tests from your engine bay instead of having to jump into the wheel well like I did. We're working on the laser part. We'll get the laser part done. Now, here are the modules, the nodules. I need to see how to open these up. So this, I don't know if this is the tutorial where they open it up. I don't think so. I got it open on the other computer, but I think we've got some of them here. Yeah, here's one that's been opened up. You can see the gel, and it's just basically a jiggly mess inside of this thing. I would like to see where they opened it up, though. That's that. That's not going to show me what I need to know. This is the same tutorial. Okay. E39 ABS module. Yeah, just repair, I guess. Okay, so they're way up top there. Yeah, it's from Volvo Forum. Hey, get out of here. These Volvo dudes will open up anything, man. There it is. Yeah, so it looks like they cut just under the lip. So we'll do the same, and we have to be careful on the front end that we're not cutting too far into it, because those pins are right there. So, what are you guys saying? High temperature, sharp potential projectile. Yeah, it's. One time I was learning to spin poi, where you have the Kevlar torches and you're whipping them around on chains. And at one point, I tried to do a trick, and I see this flaming Kevlar marshmallow coming right up at my face, smacks me in the face. I didn't get any burns or anything. There wasn't a lot of residual, because you're supposed to spin off the poi ahead of time to get all that fuel from being able to fly away and drip off on things. When you do stalls on your body with a flaming torch, it can sometimes leave a little bit behind and keep flaming you, keep you on fire. But I got smacked in the face with one of these torches, and the soot on the screws that were holding the Kevlar in made a perfect circle with a plus sign in the middle of it. It was great. Got myself in the knackers with poi with about 5 seconds of starting. Never tried it again. I was able to do like some pretty cool tricks. I could do like behind the back and stuff. I wasn't thin enough for that, but I was able to do it. Gave me a lot of upper body strength. Anyway, so yeah. Let's cut just under the lip of this thing, and let's see what we can do. Now, if I don't get enough heat, if my little circlip thing doesn't actually work, which I suspect it won't, we will take the torch to this to get it hot enough to actually cut. And I actually have to snap the blade off. I have to actually pop the blade off to give us more of a chance of getting that heat into the plastic. So I'm gonna look away. Safety squints, chat. Safety squints. Okay, we made it. We made it. We survived that. We survived the first step. So now it's gonna hold heat just a little bit better. But for that, we need thermals. Why are they not on? Hold on a minute. Gotta unplug them, plug them back in. Go to, oh yeah, that's not hot right now. I gotta go to thermals, properties, deactivate, reactivate. There we are. All right, cool. Now I can actually see the heat. So once we open this thing up, it'll be kind of a clean room scenario, and we're gonna check the ohms of a particular pin, the one that represents the what do you call it? The one that represents the driver's side anti-lock brake speed sensor. I do have a wheel speed sensor. It would be nice if we could hook this up to the computer here, but I'm not sure if that's going to trigger any of the lockout stuff for the security system. I don't know if it's possible to bench the ABS unit itself. I just don't know. Okay, here we go. I've been putting this off. Boop. Into here goes the heat. The heat. Steam really wants me to sign in with a QR code, huh? Oh god, it's already smoking. Son of a bitch. Oh, I shouldn't point that circlip towards my face. Alright, here come the fumes. Here come the fumes, chat. Get the light source in here. Let's get close so I can do my cutting. My evil deed. So is this just gonna cut it easily? Probably not. Actually seems to be doing something. Try to push it in a little bit more there. I want a very clinical opening in this thing. I don't want to faff about with, you know, bad lines. So I'm actually going to get, I'm going to get down a little further on this. I'm going to actually look this thing face to face. Yeah, you guys are really missing out on the smells, huh? I just don't get the same smells with O'Bother's shop anymore. The problem is I'm putting my face like really close to this thing, and that E-clip really, really wants blood. It's really after blood. Like, it's cutting it nicely. It's leaving a nice little track, but I don't really know if I'm getting the penetration that I need to open this thing up. It's just like when we were cutting the Omnipod. It just needs a little bit more heat in order to work. And is the heat getting into the end of the blade? See, it's not. Everything else is nice and toasty, but the end of the blade isn't. And I could ramp up the heat, but I just don't know about doing that. How long until the angle grinder makes an appearance? No, no. We should be able to handle this. How far in can I get with that? That's going to be the tough part, is cutting along here. All the Volvo guys were using a miniature saw blade. Yeah, I really don't want to use the Dremel on this. I don't want the I don't want all the stuff that the Dremel's going to leave behind. All the plastic shavings. Boy, it really needs to be like a push blade and not like a knife blade, huh? Where was my... There it is. Okay, I'm just going meticulously here, because slipping up with a hot knife is not going to be fun. Generally, it's on my list of things not to really cock up, you know? Is when you got a heated knife going into plastic. Generally, you don't want to slip on that. Yeah, the problem is all the heat goes into the plastic like right away. It's not really doing much, is it? Oh, you can see the heat on the edge at least. Hot wire. Yeah, I don't really have a hot wire. Laser knife. You know, the blue laser could probably do a number on this, but it would leave behind a lot of like carbon in its wake. I could probably laser it off. It would take a long time too. I tried to do some plastic cutting with the old board, like when I first had it up behind me on like a couple lighting stands. I tried to cut something out of it with it, and while it did work, it didn't quite have the power to make like a definitive cut. Speaking of not having the power to make a definitive cut, wow, that's a horrible looking blade. Just do it this way then. I'm gonna use up all my propane. I don't know where the refill thing is for that. That's gonna smell like burning plastic now. I mean, it's like almost to the right temperature. It's almost where it'll start cutting, but... Okay, that's just on fire. Straight up on fire, bro. Yeah, look at how easily that sunk in. Man! Ultrasonic knife. I don't think I have the transducers to make that. I mean, the saw blade obviously would do it too. Dremel would do it. Dremel would unfortunately leave a lot of dust in its wake, though. And this just isn't sinking in. Alright. Alright. How much higher can we get the temperature of this thing? We're at 650. I could also use the hot air gun to heat this thing up. Actually, the hot air gun would probably be the better. Yeah, we're going back to 650 on this. This is sacred. I can't change that. Oop, that's 680, 670, 650. I'm leaving that at 650. Oops, that's 660. 650. There we go. I'm leaving that at 650. Yeah, old Tony did do a whole thing on the electric knives. There's only 2 on Amazon. The Sonic knife. But yeah, I don't know. All right, hot air. Hot air will get us to the high temperatures that I need to cut plastic without causing fire. Wish that guy would surface more often. Yeah. Yeah, probably has things to do. Get that nice and toasty hot. Hold on, I need more hands than I have. Probably bad to run the hot air ragged and just let it run out. I think I need to left hand the hot air, which is dangerous, but doable. Dangerous, but doable. That's the name of the game. And then right hand for the knife. All right. Not really, huh? Nope. All right, so hot knife might have been a bust. Because unless I can get a lot of heat into the front of this thing, it's not really working out. This type of plastic, the PBT or whatever it is, isn't really that cooperative. Plus, this thing is designed to go in a high-temperature engine bay, so what did I expect? All right, so that's definitely not even nearly getting to the right temperature for me to work with. Hot air didn't work. 500 degrees Celsius, but it would take too long to get the heat in there. So, let's think about this. I guess I can continue to torch it and then put it down here. I don't know how much fuel this torch is going to have left in it. And when it's out, it's out. I don't think I have a refill bottle nearby. My fingers are starting to feel a little neuropathy here. That's been flaring up lately. Yeah, that's the only way this is going to work, is if I hit it with a torch and then hit it up against the plastic. All right, take it easy. That's the same fart twice. Is that legal? I don't think that's legal. Oh, I'm sinking the Uh-oh, it's pulling out the soldering iron. Oh God, what are you guys doing? Oh, you're refilling my gas. I see now. I see it now. Alright, that is cutting. I just need to continue heating it with this. Yeah, it definitely needs one of the big heating elements. Ugh, that's sinking the... See, the problem is the metal is so close to the front. I gotta be careful that I don't sink the metal into the body here. Actually, I should cut it this way. Well, hold on. I gotta give my fingers are like buzzing from I must have pinched a nerve. I gotta shake it off. Shake off the... Ooh. Okay, there we go. Jeez, man. A little bit of diabetes there. Affecting me. I wish I could cut it where I could see the... Maybe if I go this side and then I can... No, that doesn't quite work. Well, that'll avoid hitting this thing, I guess, but... Don't stop being on fire. I just need heat. Man, it's like just a brief touch. And then it loses all the heat, like, immediately. Yeah, I'm starting to consider just cutting it with a knife, or a, what do you call it? Cutting it with a Dremel might be the way to go. To be fair, this thing should be able to get hot enough to cut plastic, but it's having a lot of trouble. I need the torch in order to supplement the amount of heat that it requires. This will take a long time, too, and it's going to use up a lot of my gas. Yeah, mass to surface ratio. Yeah. That's the trouble. That's the trouble. Make it double. Hold on. A little shake off my limbs, and then... Actually, I can cut that with a real knife. The block that we put the blade onto was sinking into the side of the module here. I gotta avoid that. Getting all kinds of weird smells. It smells like I opened up a can of tennis balls. Okay. Think about this. What are we gonna do about this hot knife not being hot enough of a knife? It's mostly that the heat doesn't get to the end of it. It's heating it all right, but we're not getting hot enough for the plastic at the end of the knife. So I could turn up the heat on this thing. You can see, oh yeah, the plastic on the end of the knife is showing its actual temperature. Yeah, it's just not doing it. It's just not getting hot enough. I'm gonna bump up the temperature on the iron, I guess. See if I can do it to like 800 degrees. 700, 720, 30. I got a gamer tap the 760, 770, 800. Now this thing's gonna pipe a whole shit ton of heat into itself. Hopefully it won't explode. Maybe, just maybe, it'll be hot enough to cut. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Oh, it definitely is. Wow. Okay. All right. Unless that's the stuff I already cut. No, it definitely isn't. That's the stuff I already cut. I thought I was doing real well. It is doing stuff, though. I gotta be careful not to sink the steel piece into the plastic. Uh-oh. Beep. Beeping. I'm beeping. I'm constant beeping. I'm Beppis. Hold on. I just beepist all over myself. We gotta change out the pod. Dash. Pod management. Deactivate pod. Next. New pod. Okay, that one stopped. Good, finish. All right, hold on. I gotta change out my pod. I'll do that with you guys, but you guys can't see it because it goes on my body. But get the old one off, get my insulin over here. Oh, man. Stupid medical appliances. Ow. Damn it. That one didn't want to come off. Here's a new microcontroller for me. If we can actually hack them. I'll have to figure that one out. Pod check. Well, that information I don't think is on... It actually might be on the Heroku app website that I have. That you guys know where it is, actually. You can access that Heroku app site. Is that clean? Yeah, it's clean. Charging my pod. Poggers? What? Oh my god, so many bubbles. Get out of here. I want no air in my system. We're oxygen free. We don't oxidize. Hold on, I gotta pull the stool up so I can sit down and give you guys an actual camera angle on this stuff. Changing out my pod. It's like those boomer comics that are like, I pooed, I peed, I pod. I hate those comics. I really do. Alright. 200 units of insulin. Ready to serve. And unfortunately, we can't see the reservoir being loaded up because it's behind the thing. But there's that. I got my double beep, which means that this thing is activated. Not supposed to recap, but whatever. Garbage. All of it's garbage. It's all garbage. This is not something I thought I would be watching 20 years ago. Yeah, same. Fill pod, did that. Initializing. This thing will start making clicking noises. You're not supposed to remove the safety, but I'm removing the safety. Waiting for the clicking noises from this thing. It's doing the Bluetooth low energy connections. There it goes. Start here. Snapping, which is a little back and forth thing that advances. It rolls a barrel. It does a barrel roll. And that advances the plunger. And it activates not only the thing that captures the plunger, but it also will auto-inject. I've shown that mechanism many times on camera, and it's not the last time I'm going to show it either. It'll be shown in the near future, but I need insulin, so I'm putting this thing on my body. So that thing's ready to go. I think once this initializes, then I can tell it. I get like a, you know, those remote fart noise makers, only this thing is It is a remote activated syringe. Here we go. I forget how many clicks it is. Oh boy, when is it gonna snap? Ah, there it is. Okay, that one wasn't very painful. Cool, so now that that's done, I hit finish, and now I can go back to being a regular person, because this thing will handle all of my post-meal blood glucose stuff. Steel spring surprise, yeah. Prank your friends. Ah, did you just inject me with something? Haha, gotcha. All right. So anyway, that being said, my soldering iron is at a crisp 800 degrees. I don't know if it's enough for this attachment that we've made to actually cut stuff, to cut the plastic away with heat. It doesn't appear to be. Is that advancing at all? No. Why does this suck? Because I made it. Yeah. I guess this is a call for the larger heating element soldering iron, which I don't have a spare of, and I don't think the other types of iron fit in this thing. I'm not really supposed to be putting as much pressure as I'm putting into it. This thing should have been a pressure-free cutting affair. Which it was when I heated it up with the torch. We're able to get through most of the side with the torch, but box is a bit glowy. Yeah. Well, I put 200 more degrees Fahrenheit into this thing, so It's an entire extra hot day. Can I just like repetitiously do it? Because it does cut, it cuts a little bit. But I wanted surgical precision out of this thing, and I'm not getting it. Not getting it without the torch. The torch puts an absolutely excessive amount of heat into it, and that's what gives it the advantage. Equivalent of 2 hot car dashboards, yeah. Hold on, thermal camera's always walking around. Stay on the camera, stupid thing. Okay, yeah. Well, bon appetit, I guess. Bon apple teeth. There, that released that side. It like popped off too, that was weird. This is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Well, try this side now. I gotta use the torch with it. It really sucks that way, though. Yeah, the two screws that nobody mentioned. Jesus, that smoke is bad. That's ABS smoke. Don't breathe that. See, it like starts to work the material, but it's just not. I need an excessive amount of heat. So I think going forward, I need one of the larger soldering iron tips in order to do this. I need that big heater on it so that it can put an excessive amount of heat into this, because the plastic does cool it. I wonder if I could preheat the plastic and that would help. Probably not. And then cutting with the edge that's closest to the heat block is best, because that's actually sinking into it quite a bit. I could laser it, but I have a cheap heat gun with multiple blades for wood painting. Tried to cut plastic with it, but it's way too weak for it. Yeah, I guess I just need a lot of heat. This is I mean, this thing is designed to go right next to the exhaust manifold, so this is PBT. So I don't know what the temperature of PBT. What, GF30, I don't know what that means, but PBT, it's designed to go right next to the engine bay, so, or right next to the exhaust header, so it is not a cold plastic, not a cold weather plastic, and I'm just not up there on the thermal scale. Now, if I made like a bespoke heater, if I knew where the heating element for this thing was, and I could actually, you know, instigate or actually control where the heating element was heating instead of having it go into what is essentially just like a grub screw holding everything together, probably would do a little bit better. Maybe if the blade was in contact with the soldering iron. But I do find myself playing thermal catch-up with this thing. Thermal catch-up. Yep. Well, I guess we're just going to suffer through this technique. I wonder if I could do an attachment for the gas-powered soldering iron. That might work really well. Because the gas iron puts a lot of heat into stuff. That might be the way to go in the future. I don't know what that attachment would look like, though. This sawing motion is pretty bad. It is getting through stuff, though. I can feel it. And of course, the more pressure I put on it, the more nervous I get about this thing exploding. That actually was working there, that little sawing motion that I was doing. Oh, Jesus. Am I driving this thing into the... Yeah. I'm hitting the block up against the plastic. Because the only edge that'll cut is like right near the end of this thing. There we are. All right. That's the other side. Jeez. Okay, well, I got that side, and it's pretty gross looking. I also bent the soldering iron. Are you going to reattach it when done? I don't know. I don't know yet. Probably some form of epoxy. I know people were talking about using high temperature epoxy on it, but I don't know what exactly I'll be using. I don't want to go this way because then I'll end up hitting the block up against stuff. Don't be on fire, damn it. It's very waxy plastic. It's making a lot of very waxy smelling fumes. I think I have to do an equipment check because this stuff is starting to... Yeah, let's turn it off and let it cool down, and we'll start over because this is it's starting to become unraveled. VODs duct tape? No. Try not to breathe that in. Thanks. Thank you. Appreciate that. Where's my heat sink? I'm sweaty. All right, so this is just like a big thermal load here. We're gonna replace the blade too. I don't mean like the movie blade too. I mean like we're also replacing the blade. Such magnetic screwdrivers. Oh, that means I need to wrestle the circlip off. The E-clip works though. If I can get it on there elegantly again. Don't touch the desk. Get off of my screwdriver. Hey. All right, let's that return to nominal temperatures, and this thing will just cool down in the soldering iron holder. Oh, that was a hiccup. Pliers and tweezers, I guess I can use. Time to get a hot circlip flung across the shop. Nice hot circlip in the eye. Oh, good, that didn't fly away. Good, good, good. Now this is all stuck on here with plastic. Oop, nope, don't melt my desk. How hot is that? Ah, it's still really hot. I don't know what to do about that. We're just not getting the heat into the blade. I mean, I could practically just hold on to this with a pair of pliers and get the same results. Just put it in the torch and then just move it across there, just like that. I could even use this handle, which would hold it a lot better, and heat up the blade and then sink it into the thing and move it across. That's basically where we are with it. I'm gonna put on a welding glove. I'm putting on a welding glove. I've given up. I've given up everything. Where'd my gloves go? They're all the way over here. Which hand is that? That's a left-hand glove. Probably need a right-hand glove. Putting on one of my TIG gloves. That'll hold the heat for a little bit longer. Friggin' hot scalpel. Turn the soldering iron back down. We'll just use the torch to do this. Back down you go. Down from 800 degrees. Can't see the screen. 740. Oh, I gotta hit the button every time. No, here we go. Oh god, but it's really slow. 648. Is that a 6? Yeah, 650. Okay, there we go. Cool. Soldering iron, you're done. A Dremel and a thin cutting blade? Yeah. That's kind of the point we're at. But I think if I keep heating up the scalpel blade, we can get the remainder of the front surfaces at least worked out. Something buzzing me? No, nothing's buzzing me. Pod not activated. Oh, that's an old alert. It's like, dude, pod is definitely active. How do I dismiss that? Doot. There we go. Okay, cool. Back in business. All right. So I'm just going to use the scalpel, and I'm just going to heat it with a torch. That's probably going to, like, anneal the end, which is unfortunate. I guess I can get another scalpel holder if I need to. And then we also want the more blunt tip, because that's going to only hold so much heat. But I will wear 2 gloves, just because I'm going to be holding a pretty hot thing. I think I have map gas in here somewhere too, but I'm not gonna, I probably shouldn't pull out the map gas for this. That's too hot. Too hot. And then I need a place where I can put the knife. So that's this, is where I can put the knife, and then I need a clear area surrounding me because I don't want to juggle a knife that's at burning temperatures. I just don't want to, okay? As entertaining as that would be. So, place to put the knife. Everything I know and love out of the way. That stack is gonna fall over. All right, this sucks. I was hoping my soldering iron knife would be the best thing to use, but it turns out to not be all that effective. Yeah, I need to blunt the end of this. Okay. There's just not enough heat in that sharp tip. Look away, chat. I shifted in my chair, and that was enough to cut audio. Safety monitor. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. All right, so I got to take little incremental cuts. This isn't really doing much. What's going on here? I think maybe the soldering iron setup would get it up almost to temperature, and then the torch would just be that little bump that it needed to be in cutting temp. Because, like, this ain't doing much. I'm not really getting a cut out of that. Oh, there we go. Yep, it's just like touch and go, basically. Touch and cloth. I think that's what they say over there. Overseas. They say touch and cloth. Second pair of safety squints. I'm wearing glasses. Gets poked from the side. God damn it. Taking longer to heat it because the irons, or the blade is giving up much faster. It gives up the heat much faster than the soldering iron setup did. This one I can at least pull away if I need to. It turns out the improvised hot knife is literally just a knife that we are torching as my butane runs out. Uh-oh, it's running out. We don't have a lot of time. Please. Please survive. I'm gonna, like, be absent-minded about where I'm pointing the torch, and it's gonna end up melting the unit. My whole ABS unit caught fire. It wasn't in a car. Jesus Christ. I can't, like, get a lot of, force into this thing. It is working, though. Damn it. I mean, fucking end mill probably would have been better. The milling machine could have done this. Ah, come on. I'm just not getting any cutting here. I think I'm rushing it. Can't rush it. Ah, man. No, it's made out of PBT. I know, it would be great if it was ABS. This is the ABS unit. I bet you can't guess what kind of plastic this is. This corner is a complete fucking disaster. I don't know why it's not cutting. Come on, buddy. You can do this. There it goes. Eh. Whoa, whoops, sorry. So I told you I'd be absent-minded about the torch. End up going into the side of the unit. Ah, man, this is rough. Yeah, it's like each individual cut I need to heat this thing for. This would be way better if it was a big soldering iron on the end of this. Or the gas iron. Oh, I don't think the gas iron has... Gas iron has all kinds of attachments, but I don't think it has a hot knife attachment. Alright, that's 3 out of the 4 sides. Let me get this corner over here. And then we just have the long piece to do. I have to be extra careful about going too far into it, too. I'm glad this torch holds a lot of fuel. I wonder if I can score the plastic on the other parts and get it through that way. Alright, I didn't get this corner either. can't like get an angle. My hands are getting tired. That's one of the problems too. I'm like sweating. Okay. My fingers are numb. Hold on. Ooh, buzzing fingers. The cooker's pretty, yeah. $34 for a butane hot knife. You could get that? I'm gonna look that up right now. Might have to buy that. Might have to buy that. Oh, I need to put this on the heat sink. It's probably getting pretty warm. Yeah, pretty warm. I'm like a sweaty mess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a nichrome wire. Yeah, the glove's fine. Ton of hot knife options on Amazon. I looked them up. I mean, there's some that are just like soldering irons, but I don't know if they'll get to this temperature. I would trust a torch to get there better. Let me just take a look real quick. Ugh, gotta get the sweat off of my body. I'm gonna look like a mess on this camera. Amazon. Okay. Yeah, cool. Internet's great today. All right, all caps. Knife. Oh, it's actually caps. Hold on. Knife torch. Oh my God, it's the best. Totally getting that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking for. Hot knives in my area. I already made that joke on the title. Hot knife. Because, yeah, I looked at this stuff and I was like, I don't really want like a screw thing. You know, there's this too. Small business brand. Fabric cutter, though. So it's not really going to get that hot. Butane torch hot knife. Okay, I'll take a look at that. I mean, there's this too. Hot knife, 150 watt, heavy duty. That's like, but I think these are for, yeah, these are for cutting like styrofoam and stuff. They don't actually get that hot. Electric hot knife foam cutter. Yeah, they've got the long blades on the end. That's for other stuff too. So what is it? Butane knife. So this one, I think I have, you know, I have one of these butane soldering irons. I don't know if it has that kit. The thing that can specifically hold a knife. Ugh. Yeah, butane hot knife. We don't really run into this problem a whole lot. I mean, the stuff that we do cut, you know, the plastic that I want to get into, like a hot knife isn't quite fast enough for what I want to do. I use the bandsaw on all the insulin pumps. Although this would probably be pretty effective. Ultrasonic knife, they're too expensive. This is your link that's gonna send you money when I buy it. Where's the knife? I guess that's the knife? It comes in pseudo-carbon fiber. See, the thing is, I already have one of these. So I just need that. I need that. That thing's pretty cool. Yeah, the video shows a knife. That's gonna get fucking copyright struck. I would not solder with a butane iron. No, thank you. That thing's tiny. There's the knife. See how thick that knife is, though? I think that's what they're, you know, they put all that heat into the blade itself. That's 30 bucks. Well, I don't think I'm gonna buy that. I think I need to look up some stuff and figure out if I can like attach one. Here's the ultrasonic knife, by the way. This thing would be awesome. I would love to have that, but not all of us have $500 to spend on something like this. Supposedly, it's really good at gutting stuff, but I'll never know because it's too expensive. What is this link? Yeah, that's for foam though. Foam and nylon. I don't look at that thing. It's weird looking. Would I get banned if I question space? What are you talking about? Question space. I don't even know what you're. Anyway, Yeah, I wish I could afford something like this, but oh well. So anyway, make one from a cheap ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, the vibrating motor. We took apart a what do you call it? 975 degrees. Yeah, that would probably be good enough to cut. Probably be good enough to cut. We took apart. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so I bought like a cheap ultrasonic cleaner from CVS, and it turns out that when we took it apart, it actually was just a motor with a counterweight on it that would spin, and it would just shake. Don't make them actually believe that we don't believe in space here, because that's stupid. Don't be stupid. Okay. Most of the surfaces here. How that Bimmerfest OP get it open so clean. One of them used a hot knife. They had a hot knife. This person used a saw, and there's plastic shit all over it. But these guys, like, I think they used a hot knife to open it up. Or at least that's one of the places that does it used a hot knife. That was the clean one that we saw, I think. I mean, we're doing okay. We got a pretty decent separation of this thing so far. Now the question is, how do I get under this in order to release the last piece? And I need it to be elegant because I don't want to sever any of the connections in there. Now, I could also just peel up this entire thing, but I don't think it's going to crack in the way that we want it to crack over there. Oh, that was a piece of plastic just went in from my moving it. There it is in all of its glory. I can see some of the gel. Some of that gel, that beautiful gel. It's all the way up at the top too, huh? I think I could go halfway on either side and get a cut out of that. It's not going to be easy, but I think I can do it. Yeah, the gel blob tech. Jablob tech. Jablob, jablah. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know what fucking crazy shit you guys are talking over here. I'm not Rob Oz. I don't fucking go off on these weird tangents about politics and shit. We don't do that here. I do like to have weird rants about stuff and joke around, but I need to get better at the weird random topics, because that would help the show move along. We could talk about weird what ifs, but you know, the things that I like to do with topics like is space real is actually do the physics tests that prove this kind of thing. Now, we failed miserably at creating a ring laser gyroscope, but what I would like to do is make it again. Start over. Not start over completely. I mean, start over with the stuff that I have. You know, put the optic table on the turntable and then get us a loop that is appropriate for a ring laser gyroscope. And we don't have the ability to have multiple fiber optic, you know, spinny thingies in order to emphasize the interference pattern at the end. But I think we weren't very well aligned. I think we needed to spend more time aligning all the mirrors. So I would like to come up with a setup that uses my helium neon laser, because that's got a more coherent beam. It's got a much nicer beam to it. And I think what we'll be able to do, send the laser into the splitter cube, take the two beams, combine them, get them back into a target. And it's possible that in the middle of the turntable, I could put another mirror that our microscope camera can look down at. and then I can spin the thing, and we'll still be able to see that interference. Well, but the interference pattern will then be spinning. Maybe that doesn't really work. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Okay, more hot knife action. I get like a quarter of a cut. And I don't want to, I really cannot go too deep with this because otherwise I'll break stuff. Ugh, hold on, I gotta reposition. Yeah, we have retroreflectors on the moon. We send a laser beam all the way to the moon, a green laser beam. Observatories do this. They send a green laser beam in the sky on a particularly non-distorty night, and the beam is as coherent as they could possibly get it, and it is a couple watts, I believe. And by the time it gets to the moon, it is spread out to such a degree that only on the round trip, they only get a couple photons back from the retroreflectors that were placed out there. But they get photons back. Nobody else is sending us green laser beams, so that's a confirmation. Oh, that was a bad swing. Confirmation that, in fact, we've been to the moon and back several times. Just gonna go ponderously slow with this. You can believe it or not, but doesn't change the fact that there are demonstrable results to the contrary of what all these weirdos are thinking. It's sad, because it's like people are applying the scientific method. I need to get down, like, all the way down here in order to see what I'm doing. It's sad because people are applying the proper scientific methodologies and principles towards these cockamamie theories that they have, and they are getting the results that a scientist would say, oh, all right, it's a cockamamie theory, my bad. In fact, the ring laser gyroscope was only developed because they were trying to prove whether or not there was ether, whether or not there was a medium that physics traveled through or whatever. They were looking for a wake in the ether, something that basically, as something travels, it would leave behind, like a ship leaves a wake behind. There would be like something that you can detect. And they found nothing. They found a very, very nice interference pattern that was able to change depending on the movement of all of the entire optics setup. So basically what they did is they figured out that when you have light traveling in space, and it makes an interference pattern with itself, if the paths deviate, for instance, when the whole optical setup spins, then it'll create an interference pattern. Because the waves of light out of the laser are coherent, they're interfering with one another, and that shows spinning. And so if you get one of these things, these ring laser gyroscopes, and you put it static on the planet Earth, you get 15 degrees per hour spin from it. And since it is light, it is decoupled from the physics of the Earth. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, the sad part is that a lot of these folks in these flat Earth societies are really almost there, you know? They're almost there. They're not necessarily dumb. They just don't, they're not open to results to the contrary of their belief. I'm putting way too much pressure into this. I'm gonna take a short break here. Well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm gonna keep going. More flames, more fire, more melting. See, I'm like slipping into the cavity, and I really don't want to do that. I gotta go to the other side now. We're almost there. Ah, man, this is tedious. Oh, standing up. All right, I just need to work that one edge up here until the whole thing pops off. Get that heat. Bring the heat, bring the noise. I'll not put the torch away, not even a little bit. Torch knows what it's doing. Well, now it's on fire. There it is. Woo! Okay, that was a tedious. The soldering iron torch holder did not, soldering iron blade holder did not work. So we ended up heating up just the scalpel blade and running that along the edge there. So carefully enough, move the top of this and reveal that I almost fucking ruined the whole thing. Nice, nice. Cool. The couple little pieces of plastic that made their way in, we can clean out. If this were a better hot knife, I probably could have done a better job of this. Oh, look at that. We'll take a look on the microscope, though. It's a little bit cleaner than if I had used the Dremel. Yeah, there's only a little bit, and it is basically just a Jello mold. We're gonna have to be very precise in our operations coming up, and then I'll have to find a good epoxy. I have a plastic epoxy. We'll have to see what kind of temperatures that can handle. It's not like we can do a whole hell of a lot of machining in this area because we'll create dust. So look at how clean that is. This would have been a lot cleaner if we had just a constant heat source instead of having to come in and, you know, keep cutting. Okay, so this is the anti-lock brake module of an E39. Little bits of plastic all over it. One thing I got to be really careful of is not putting too much pressure on the actual gel itself. So let's go to this view. I can see some of the stuff that they did in here. I mean, look at this fucking thing. Oh, my hands are shaking still from the yeah, I gotta let my hands calm down. I gotta give myself a minute to just gather myself, get a big gulp of water, and then we can take a look at this thing and figure out what's broken. They've got pretty close to a lot of this stuff. The gel's to keep out the environment, because the other side of this thing, see those pins right there? Those go through to the solenoids. The solenoids are part of the assembly, and the assembly is just like, it has one gasket on it. So, is the blob over the chip a blowhole? The blob right there is a, I think it touched the top of the opening, of the container, rather. I'd like to get all that stuff out of the way, but yeah, those are the silicon wafers. There's multiple chips that are doing the ABS, multiple different chips, and they look clouded as hell. This gel is, unfortunately, I can't just remove all of the gel because it'll take all the bonding wires with it. The chips aren't, they're under a gel. They're under a gel. They're just vibing there under that gel. Or jam? Jam or jelly, I don't know. Apparently there was that baking show, and the judges were shocked that somebody had used peanut butter with strawberry jam. They were really confused. And all the Americans are like, dude, it's just peanut butter and jelly. Like, it's good stuff. But apparently they don't have that as much over there. Jam's made with crushed up chips. Jelly has silicon added. Silicon? Wow. Peanut butter is better with cheddar? What is your life? What kind of a life are you living over there? That's weird. I made a hot pepper jam out of the peppers I grew this year. That was freaking delicious. I still have a little bit, but I promised it to a friend, so. Cheese, toast, and peanut butter. I don't like that. No. I'm not even gonna try that. I don't want that in my life. Nothing after pickle made sense. Not a lot makes sense after pickle. Cheese peanut butter cracker. Oh yeah, those. But those are like, I thought the cheese crackers versus the peanut butter were different. Didn't they separate those out? Aren't those different things? Dear God, this is fiddly, and I can't, my hand's shaking a little bit from what we just did. All the force that I put into that thing. These wouldn't have been a thing if, you know, if we had a hot enough thing. I don't think so. I could try. Nah, the gels stuck them. The gel captured it. My name is Bosch, and I'm gonna put a sticky gel in my fucking ABS unit. That'll be cool. That'll be really cool. It'll hold on to dust, it'll hold on to dirt, and it'll vibrate all these little wires that are barely even bonded on. That should be pretty cool. That'll be cool. That'll be fun. We'll have fun. We have fun. Okay, so, which ones are we actually looking at? It's going to be hard for me to display this whole thing at once, but what we really need to do is we need to see where precisely that driver's side module connects. I don't think I can get that. So where does the driver's side module connect? Now, while we're here, we might as well just look around and see what's up with this thing. I don't see any circuit traces on this thing. I guess they must be internal to the ceramics, or maybe, but there's no vias either. How the hell are they even doing stuff with this? I don't think every connection is a bonding wire. Let's get closer. We're gonna get closer up. It's like a fly trap for debris. This is as close as we can get before I start involving slip rings. Why is that loose? The camera's gonna fall off and fucking smash into my anti-lock brake module. Just the kind of death it deserves. A warrior's death. Hello? Yeah, but if it was the backside, then why wouldn't there be vias? I don't see any vias. Oh my god, why am I having so much trouble focusing this thing? Probably because of the height of the unit. So I need to lift this up towards the camera a little bit. Oh no, I need to move the camera away. That's what it is. Yeah, this has to go up like that. Because this is our maximum magnification from... All right, everybody now is dizzy. Why did so many little flakes go right by the crystal? This here is focus gel. Oh my god. I guess we'll just live with that plastic there. This stuff is fucking evil. These are the problem. It's these connections where everything goes wrong. This looks like it is a pristine unit. It looks like nobody's fucked around with this thing before. A Q-tip with alcohol? But won't that damage the gel? I'm not gonna try that. So look at that chip right there. Holy crap. Now I could put focus rings on this thing and we could get real intimate with these things. We could get closer up if we need to. Listen, the bonding wires are extremely fragile. They're extremely fragile, and I have no means by which to repair them. So we are not gonna fuck with that duck. We're gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna try to remove the gel. The only thing that could possibly remove the gel is some kind of a soaking procedure, and I'm not gonna do that. There's one bonding wire that we need to identify, and then we can fix it by soldering, hopefully. I'm not gonna fuck with anything else on this. And if I mess up, I'm out 200 bucks. I gotta buy another one and then code it to my ECU, which I can do. What in the hell? What in the holy hell are they even doing here? Bosch, why are there so many control modules? What do all of these do? Why are there so many chips on this thing? I mean, what would you need in this thing? You need like a power regulator. You need something to make 8 volts. You need a clock. You need a main controller. You need something that's going to switch on and off the pump. And then you need something that's going to switch the relays. Why are there so many? Yeah, maybe 2 of everything. That seems to make some sense. And then you need something to communicate with the CAN bus. But that's one chip. Looking at a circuit board from the PCB's point of view. Yeah, it's something like that, huh? Well, all the wheels, I think, are coming in on these. I think those are probably the wheel sensors. I think we can find a... Is that a beard hair? Did I get a beard hair in this thing? I think I did. DIY your own. Yeah, I know, right? They practically know the code so well, I might be able to just tear this entire thing out and just solder a bunch of jumper wires to like a teensy 3.2. It's not a bodge wire. No, it is literally a beard hair. It's curly like a beard hair too. It's like one of my mustache hairs. Or it's a pube. Because yeah, you could get all of this stuff out and then, oh, look at that. What is that? A little bubble right there. I mean, they've given us nice like solder pads where we could attach all the wires to. I just, you know, we probably want to keep the ABS system that's there, seeing as it looks like it's pretty robust, given that we have two giant processors on this thing, and then a bunch of other like ancillary equipment that's probably doing important stuff, running a bunch of sensors maybe. I don't know what these are part of. I think switching on and off the pump. This one and the one. Oh no, there's only one of those. Are the pads going anywhere? I would assume that they are indeed going somewhere. There's like probably either on the other side of the board or internal to the board. There might be it's probably the other side of the board. Probably has all the traces on it. This is some wild fucking engineering, though. You know, this is wild. Well, just like any circuit board, yeah, there's unpopulated stuff. They decided they didn't need something, or they decided they wanted to do something differently, and so instead of having to spin off an expensive ceramic circuit board, you have different areas that you can populate differently. Maybe the station wagon might handle ABS. Well, no, I think all the units are the same, but yeah, 6-wheeled BMW pads. Well, didn't they do that in the factory? They took a E36, I think, M3, and they made it into a ute with 4 wheels in the back. What in the hell is going on this thing? I just can't. Freaking crazy. One secondo. Reply from like a million years ago. Okay, yeah, so we gotta figure out which of these pins goes to the driver's side wheel speed sensor. That's probably one of these. And they're doing everything in 4s, right? Now, I think one of these crazy people that's taken these things apart before has mapped out what pins go where, and we just need to find that link. So let's jump over to the computer. No, there's not a data sheet for it. No. just no, there's not. But a lot of people have torn these things apart, so we just need to find the right link, basically. I was just looking this up to see where the stuff was, but I think somebody's figured out what goes. See, here's some of the repairs that people have done. It's never gonna look nice, but it might be functional. This guy just circled a bunch of stuff, so we don't really know that. I think I might have to resort to poking into it, because I don't know if they're giving us. Yeah. Look at that one. That one's kind of crazy looking. That one has this circuit board in it, kind of. A little bit different, but it's still that high temperature crap. Weird. Cheap ABS repair. I'm gonna have to buy one on eBay. Hold on, wait a minute. Just so I know how careful I can be. $200, $300. Rebuild service, not a replacement. Rebuild. For rebuild, module repair service. I mean, they're just going to do what I'm doing. I'd have to go to a junkyard to find one, and then I'd get it for like 10, 15 bucks. That one looked like it was meant to be opened. Oh, the big one? Yeah, you're right. You're right. Although it does look like there's debris in it, so. Do they rebuild decapitated ones? I don't know. Well, okay, we gotta find out where the wheel speed sensors are going. We know the pin out here, and I happen to know that these two right here, the ones next to the very end of the connector, are in fact the driver's side. So left front, pin 28 and pin 12. I think pin 12 is the ground. Left front, 28 and 12. Also steering angle? No. 28 and 12. I don't know which one's plus and minus. I guess. Okay, all right. Oh, right. So I need jumper wires. And I need probes, and our desk is covered in plastic, so I need to sweep that up real quick. So let me get all this stuff, we'll clean up a little bit, and then we'll get to probelating the thing. We're going to probamate this thing, and then I need to put a new blade on the knife, because we're going to have to cut away the gel around the pin that we discover. I got nice sharp blades on the probe pins, so we should be able to poke into the gel without disturbing things and figure out what pin this is. If we put enough voltage through it, the pin will reveal itself to us, right? Oh wait, no, it won't, because it's disconnected. So we don't know exactly what the problem is. I tried probing this thing out, and the results that I got were just... when the car was running, I poked at the probes, and I think I saw the right voltage, but I'm just not sure. I might have not seen the right voltage, too. So it might be that the pin is severed. Because when you plug the computer in, the ABS sensor doesn't show anything. There's the front driver side, what is it? Wheel speed sensor does not show any activity. All right, I need to get this stack is threatening to fall over on me, so I need to actually, yeah, see that? It tried to kill me, you saw it. God, what a pain in the ass this is. Just because they decided that it was high temperature, so they had to use all this weird gel circuit board stuff in order to put it together. All right, get that over there. Oh, we can turn off the hot air station. We don't need that. That on ohms. We need a couple jumpers, a couple yumpers. Gonna need a probe pin. That goes into pin over here. And then, yeah, it'll be one side to this and then the other side to the other thing. Can I plug this into the other side here? I think so. I think I can get away with this. These make me, these got my nerves going, because when these things slip, they friggin' go into an artery. They're really potent. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't use a hard epoxy on that. Possibly just temperature and expansion rates. I don't know. I don't know why they use this like jelly on the whole thing. But all right, let's do one of these, and then I can take a look at which pin is 12 and which pin is 28, assuming we can have focus on this. Because these should be, they're not labeled. They're not labeled. Well, there's 11, so there's 12 and 28. So it's those two right there, right in front of our faces. Let's go to pin 28 first. Oh, I lost all my light. Yeah, 28 right there. I don't want to damage any of this stuff. You got to be real careful with these. There you go. That's the first probe. And now we can just poke the shit out of all these things and try to figure out which one it is. So, where do you think is a good place to start? Well, probably the same side as the other connection. So this thing is all the way over here. So I would assume we're somewhere on this row. And this is actually the problem area where people have a lot of problems. I think it's around the ground connector too that people have some problems. And the thing is, I got to be really careful. I don't want to displace these very, very fragile wires right here. We need to figure out which part of the wire is not making a connection. So I've got a nice little spot back here that I can poke, and I think I can get away with it. So let's give that a shot and see if the multimeter says anything about it. Let me move this back over here so you guys get a good view of what's going on. And you're out of my way. All right. Even this probe is like too big for this. All right, down here. Well, I got to get a good angle on it. Huh, 400K. Oh, there it is. That's the one. So that says 0.3 ohms here. So we know that that connection's okay. Now we can go upstream, and I can go here. And that connection's okay. So pin 28 goes into the unit, and it makes perfect contact, which this is just the way it's gonna fucking go, isn't it? This fucking shit is just, this is gonna be all that effort, and this is gonna be fine. All the connections will be perfect. You know that's what's gonna happen. You know that's what we're in store for, is this whole fucking thing is gonna be perfectly fine, and the fault will be because I didn't jiggle the wire when I put it in or something. You know it. You know that's what's going to happen. It's just going to make me angrier and angrier. All right, let's go to the next pin. And so this is pin 12. Repairing this to put back into service, or just to see if you can fix it? All right, put it back into service. Yeah, delicate work on a Friday afternoon. Yeah. Okay, so pin 28, or sorry, pin 12. I don't know if that's going to be right next to it, because it seems like they might not do it that way. But we'll just try. I'll start at the top of the line again. Yeah, my hands are a little shaky today. I'm not sure why. Just absolutely fantastic. So there's pin 12 right there. So they both come in here on these two, and then if I probe it right here. Son of a bitch. So the connection into the unit itself is perfectly fine. I don't even have words for this. We put all that effort into this, and everything is fine, except I don't get a wheel speed reading from that wheel. I thought this would be the fault, these wires right here. I mean, this is where, these two are where the driver's side comes in. It could possibly be that it's not getting power or some other piece of the circuit is broken, but it doesn't appear to be what we just tested. And the rest of everything else works. If I hook this up to the computer, then everything works. Except for the driver's side sensor, which I don't know where else to probe in this soup to get a reading. What is the RPM transducer of the wheel itself? So this is the ABS module of an E39 BMW. It's a Bosch 5.7 anti-lock brake system. What this is an amalgamation of a bunch of different sensors on the car. So you have a metal cogwheel on each of your spindles that has a sensor pointed at it, and that sensor has what essentially, I mean, it's a bunch of coils, but it's essentially like having a magnet and a Hall effect sensor. So when the metal gets close, the Hall effect sensor goes off. That's not really what's there. It's a little different than that. It is a sensor that is held at a particular voltage, and then it uses that power in order to give a square wave out of the thing. We went through the trouble of testing the sensors on the bench. We hooked it up to the appropriate circuit. We found out that it needs a very low resistance in order to function properly with the 8 volts provided to the other pin. And then it is able to assert a variable voltage level square wave depending on when metal passes by the sensor. I've been through about 5 sensors on the car to get the driver's side speed sensor to work. I hooked the computer up to the car. I opened up the picture, whatever it is, the live test result page, and I could spin each wheel and see the data rolling in. So 3 out of 4 of my wheels are reporting their speeds properly. The driver's side wheel is not reporting anything. Now, this was originally an intermittent problem. I had trouble with the anti-lock brakes in my car. They didn't quite work. They would intermittently, they would decide that at any speed they should be turning on, which is indicative of a wheel speed sensor gone wrong. I wasn't able to hook up the computer until recently to the whole system, and you know, I identify one singular wheel speed sensor was the problem. All of the other sensors, all the other wheel speed sensors, the steering angle sensor, the tilt sensor that this thing uses, are all fine. They all work just fine. I can see the results in the computer. So the thought was, well, what if the wire's broken between the front driver's side speed sensor and where it plugs into this unit, because there's a single piece of wire that goes all the way over to the wheel well. I ohmed it out. It's fine. I plugged the sensor into the wheel and everything, and then I used the plug on this end in order to troubleshoot it, and I got similar numbers to what we saw in the how-tos, as in like doing the diode test and doing the ohms test and all that stuff. So then my final thought is that it would be these little tiny little microscopic gold bonding wires that are connecting us to all of the external stuff in this system, because what happens is your car vibrates and this gel vibrates and then the wires vibrate. It is a wonderfully stupid system, and it goes wrong. It is, in fact, the major thing that goes wrong with this system. So we took a shitload of time in order to produce a hot knife. The hot knife wasn't hot enough to melt the plastic. It wasn't hot enough to melt the plastic, so we had to use the torch. And I used the torch and I successfully severed the top piece of the ABS unit. Once the top piece of the ABS unit was severed, we are then able to test from the outside to the inside continuity. Turns out, got perfect continuity. So what the fuck is wrong with my ABS system? I don't know. I just don't know. Already verified the source is an issue of the wheel itself for single wheel sounds. Like a visit the BMW dealership for the bill you $2,000 for the diagnostic, and then you may get a quote for there, blah, 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 blah. No, we don't do that here. No, the E39 is so well documented that I have an entire test procedure for this to follow. Oh no, I mean, look, the stuff that I'm finding online points at this. It points at that issue. It points at this. Yeah, there it is. There it is. No, the stuff that we were looking at, I mean, there's a whole procedure. Yeah, it's a known problem. In fact, it's so common that a friend of mine's going through the same thing with his E39 M5. We happened to like go out to a friend's birthday party the other day, and I was just talking about how pissed off I was at the wheel speed sensors, and he's like, I'm doing the exact same thing. He's been going through the same stuff. This it's such a known problem that there exists this much of a guide to take a look at the thing and see what's wrong. When I plug in the computer, it is telling me that it is not getting a reading from the driver's side front wheel. So that's a $111 pressure sensor. Jesus Christ. But yeah, what the hell? Not repairable. They would have some trouble with this one, huh? $200 to get one. I'd have to look around and see if I can get a new one. Because it's not the sensor. It's not the sensor. The sensor works. And unfortunately, we just looked it up. ESC3 5.1, yeah, that's the one. Anyway, it's a Bosch 5.7, but I ohmed it. I ohmed out the connections, and I didn't even. We just figured out what pin this signal comes in on, and then I didn't even look at the wire. I looked upstream of the wire, so I left the wire exactly where it was. With the car all plugged in, if I spin the wheel, nothing happens. So I don't know what the problem could be. We thought it was the sensor. It's not the sensor. We tested the old sensor. The old sensor works. I put in the new sensor. The new sensor works, and I made sure with the multimeter that it read as the right thing. If this thing, for instance, like the voltage regulator, the 8-volt voltage regulator went wrong, there's no way that I can repair that. That's not a simple component replace. Yeah, there's a connector. I mean, there's a connector here. Oh, you mean aside from the two other? No, I don't think there are. I'm not. Again, I'm not. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. We can take a look here. RealOEM.com. I'm just like fuming with anger right now. E39 Touring 528i. What was it? I think mine was like the 20th week of 99, so they're like, I don't know. Manual, browse the parts. Okay, so let's see here. Engine electrical, no, it'd be chassis electrical or something. Transmission, suspension, brakes. This isn't the brake harness, but brake pad wear. Here's the ABS module with the thing that goes up against it. I think this is the wrong one. Hydro unit. They call it a hydro unit, apparently. Yeah, there it is. 2,600. That's like how much the car is worth. There's no way in hell I'm buying anything new. What would it be? Would it be chassis electrical? No, that's different. It would be like, I mean, engine electrical, but I don't think so. That's just coil packs and stuff. Oh God, look at the wiring. These are the harness diagrams. I don't think any of this stuff touches ABS. Yeah, it doesn't. Fuel, radiator, exhaust, clutch, engine, blah, 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 blah. Body work, vehicle trim, seats, sliding roof, vehicle electrical system. This would be everything? I think so. Real OEM is a beautiful, wonderful resource. Yeah, corroded connector, but I mean they're all so environmentally protected. And also I owned it. I checked. Unless maybe one of the pins isn't quite making enough contact. Oh my God, so many relays. There's actually a cooling fan for the vehicle's computer. I don't think I'm gonna find. I'm just wondering because yeah, like Groovy mentioned, like maybe there's a connector in between the vehicle speed sensor and the ABS unit. Maybe there's something weird like that. I don't think there is, but you know, this could tell me if I could find what section it's in. I don't know if I can find it. Instrument measurement systems. Drive shaft, gear stick, front axle I think has some wiring stuff, doesn't it? Nah, I can't really find it. I don't know. Communication systems. I can plug my cell phone into my cellular telephone into the center console of the vehicle. That's what the car had actually at first. My friend replaced it. You know, those kinds of electronics in cars, they age disproportionately with the car. Yeah, I know people like to come and lord it over me. This is why I like cars from the 1960s. Well, this car is of an age where it actually tells you what's wrong, which is nice. It's nice to be able to plug in the computer and have the car go, I don't know what's going on with this. You know, we were able to drill down to this problem and verify it. I'm just beside myself right now that it wasn't an issue with the connections inside of this thing. It turns out I don't have to do any surgery to this thing because it's okay. I don't know what kind of shenanigans are going on in here, but yeah. Have fun adjusting your carb. The computer to read the codes is just a laptop with a couple like inexpensive cables on it. And then that software I got, it's called INPA, INPA, and it's the BMW factory software. I don't have to pay per use. It's just a thing I have. I just don't get it. I mean, these two pads right here, right? Those are the two connectors. And if I put the O-scope here and here on the capacitors, I get low ohms. And try it again. Stabilize my hand a little bit here. My shadow's in the way. Hold on. Shadow's in the way. Try that. Okay. Trying to displace the gel too much. 0.4 ohms. $300K. Yeah. you know, how would there be no signal if everything's using, perfectly? No, it's actually, yeah, it's not OBD2. I have an OBD2 device that is actually meant for BMW. So I can switch it to like the different types of whatever computer connection, and then I have an adapter to the old weird circular connector that the thing has. But yeah, I can just scan it whenever. I don't have to pay per use. Which is something that, with a car of this generation, one should have. And there are enough tools out there that you can get them pretty cheap. .3 ohms. I'm just beside myself, chat, because what this indicates to me, the failure of this to be a broken connection, what this indicates to me is that basically something upstream is dead. Something over here is dead, and we don't have any way to identify or troubleshoot or replace anything else in here, which means I need a whole new unit. I don't think I do not think that a rebuild would be able to actually get at that. Yeah, it's something of that nature. I don't know if it would necessarily be a bonding wire, although that is the typical malfunction of these things, is that they will, because of the vibrations inside of the vehicle bay, inside of the engine bay, these bond wires will be shook. They get shook and they fall out, or they disconnect. That is not the case here. If I sent this to get a rebuild, I don't know what they would do, because I don't think that they can necessarily troubleshoot that kind of thing. I don't think they can get further into the unit. I don't see any cracked capacitors here. It would be on those two wires, and the only thing is the debris that I've sort of pushed into the gel by accident. Those look a little weird, but they both look equally weird. They don't look like anything is broken there. I just don't know. I just don't know. This is so aggravating. I can't believe this. Because in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if it's something I did? Did I do something? Did I mess something up? Is this on me? This could be on me. I was really hoping that we'd find a broken connection, though. Like, why? What is all of it? Man, there's a lot of stuff here. If I was better at reading, what silicon dyes told me, I'd probably have an idea of what this stuff does, but I just don't know. I can't believe that it's not. I'm visibly shook by this this whole thing. Because yeah, I was gonna hopefully it would have been the bonding wire, and we would have just very carefully cleaned the gel out from around it and then resoldered it. Just put a bunch of solder on the pad. Now I could press my luck and try pushing the wire a little bit to see if it jumps off, but I don't know how well bonded it is there. And we ohmed it out. Everything ohmed out just fine. So I'm at a loss here. Yeah. Ooh, hey, careful there. Those kinds of sound effects kill. Yeah, nothing. It's really, really attached. Wow, that's really weak. Still perfect connection. 0.3. I don't know if this one hooked up, but cost of a new unit. Well, yeah, I'm gonna have to get a new unit because it's something else is deeply wrong with this. I just can't believe it's not the connection, and it's only one wheel speed sensor. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to hook the oscilloscope. Maybe we need to make a wheel speed sensor tester. I need to get like a little battery hooked up to a circuit board and a comparator, and that way I can go and I can really, because the only thing that I don't know right now is it the, I did not confirm that the sensor is sending, while it's in the car, that the sensor is sending the proper square wave. And I haven't confirmed that. And I should have been able to see the wheel spinning by just spinning the wheel manually with my hand, because they are that sensitive and that would show up on the computer. I think what I need to do now is build a wheel speed sensor tester. Maybe just an LED, or I could just bring my whole setup outside and use that. Although that doesn't, I can't get 8 volts outside. So I need 8 volts, a 100 ohm resistor, 2 lead wires, a comparator, and an LED, I think. Would that do it? I think that would do it. Let me see, what exists out there? Oh wait, no, we want this one. Okay. Wheel speed sensor tester circuit. Verify the other 2 wires next to the suspect wires. No, there's only 2 wires that run to the sensor. The 2, one of them does, and here, there's diagrams somewhere around here. Where did oh, it's in the other window. Hold on. Only 2 wires run to the wheel sensors, and it's basically in a system like this. There's 8 volts that runs to one, and then the other one has a weak, actually a strong pull down on it, and then the sensor levels come through as a square wave. And so basically, at the connector, I verified that the wire from the connector to the ABS module is good. We ohmed it out. I got a very low ohms on that one. Then I checked to see that with the vehicle speed sensor plugged in to that wire at the ABS module, that I got similar numbers to what this guy tested. And I did. I got OL in one direction, 2 volts in the other, and somewhere around these resistances when I flipped it back and forth, the 2 wires. We even bench tested a vehicle speed sensor here and verified that that's how it works. Then that narrowed it down to the only culprit being potentially the bonding wires of the unit itself. I mean, it could be that maybe the connector in there doesn't quite connect to the wire here. There's no evidence to the contrary, though. It looks like it should be able to connect just fine, and all the other wheels work. All the other connections in there work. It would just be that one that was somehow displaced. So I took a square pin header that is the same profile as these. I mean, it's just about the same size, and I poked it in there in order to do all those tests. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I'm so discouraged right now because we put a jumper wire on this part of the thing, and then we looked at the opened up module, and we tested to see whether or not a connection was broken. And I didn't even test directly to the wire. I tested upstream of that at a capacitor that connects to that wire. This one's a different rearrangement. Anyway, there's no evidence of anything like a wire being broken. And although the problem was intermittent before, it was definitively not working in the car. So I don't know why it's not intermittent anymore. That's the thing. So what then? It should have, by all means, been completely disconnected. Also, I don't know where these little tiny guys go. I don't know what those are for. There's also plastic there that I want to avoid messing with. I can't believe that this is just a blob of gel and it just stays in place during hundreds of thousands of miles of this thing being basically, when it's in operation, this thing is vertical. This whole circuit board is vertical. So why didn't the gel like run off? Because I can certainly poke through it with the Multimeter probe. Strange stuff. Really, really strange stuff. Just don't know. I mean, I even took the probe and I poked up against the wire. And we kind of jiggled the wire back and forth, and it seems to be perfectly fine. It makes just a fine connection. What do you mean, little crevice where it grips on? Huh? Maybe the bond wires are the reason that the gel doesn't flow off of the whole thing. Why did they do a gross gel? It's weird. So I don't know. I don't know what the problem here is. Do not know. Because, like, yeah, maybe during, you know, operation, something got a little got moved a little bit, you know, and then it made a connection, but these are definitively connected. If I push on that a little bit, I don't want to push it very hard. I want to just kind of place the probe up against it and kind of push. That's definitely connected. As is that one. So where's the problem, man? Geez, that is just way too easy to move. Yeah, they're all like that. Okay. Fuck. I'm so mad, chat. I'm so mad. I'm so mad at this thing. You can't do this to me. Do you even know who I am? They look fine. I feel like I'm gonna break one of those wires just looking at it. I know, right? Could you imagine you just drop something on this and it just crushes the whole thing? So I guess I gotta source another. I gotta source another ABS module. At least we have to look at this one up close. I have to learn how to code a new module to my car, because this thing, if it's not providing the right power. If it moves that easy, how the hell does it even work at all? I don't know, but it works. It makes a good connection. Is there any other way that we could like troubleshoot this? I don't think I can really hook it up to the computer on the bench. That would be a good test, is if I could hook it up to a computer on the bench, and then we could use jumper wires to get it over to the thing. Can I hold on a minute? Can we do a little research about this? Let's see if we can do this. What about like bench test Bosch 5.7 ABS module? Ultrasonic bond wire comes loose over time. Look at that. It's like the first result. I used a hot knife. Looks like just as dirty as mine. I'm not unique. I have the same mistakes. So how do they know what's going on? Because, like, I don't know, is it like the full unit would fail or something like that? These people have different failures for it, not like mine. Wait, that's the end of the video already? What? Huh? Are they just... Ultrasonic bond wire comes loose over time, vibration age. When the wires come loose, it can cause issues such as intermittent functionality, no communication, wheel speed sensor codes, and value faults. Upfix will replace the bond wire. Okay. More information. Okay, all right. Yeah, I think most of these places just want to sell you their service to replace it. And then this is the thread we were in. They want money to fix the module. How could they? Driving the return pump. They work in parallel with. It's not a pump fault. All this is fine. All of our stuff on this is fine. What's up, Copper? Jiggling the jelly that moves the wires to shake the brakes. How do you get this ABS system to be so jiggly? Oh, well, the secret is jelly. Ceramic substrate, wire bonds, blah, 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 blah. Don't have a photo before started. Want to rip off people, blah, 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 blah. Lid Once the lid is removed, the two MOSFET devices are located on the side of the main circuit. You see clearly the device is on the right, damaged. Okay, mine is not. My pump still works. The pump still works. They're fine. They're okay. Everybody's okay. Yeah, these are fine. God, this is like a pristine unit. I can't believe I did this to it. But you guys understand my logic, right? I'm in the right here. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm in the right. I still have my high horse. It's like, why would one wheel speed sensor fail? I'm like, my concern is that somehow the speed sensor isn't reading from the cogwheel on the spindle. No, I'm not a bad guy. So this guy just like replaced his entire group of MOSFETs, huh? That's pretty wild. Tackling ABS, what is still, and I don't know if like, so what is it? E39 driver's wheel speed sensor. Bosch 5.7 ABS. No. No. It's all the same results. We're not going to find anything more specific, huh? It's not potted. It is, oh God. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's a gel. Now, this is the same video we just watched, huh? Yeah. From Upsell Incorporated. I can't believe this. I'm so angry right now. Oh wait, these weren't the right. We were looking at the other one. So it's I thank you guys for the follows, by the way. And the subs. I appreciate the subs as always. Bad wheel bearing could cause issues as well. Yeah, the bearings, it's not the bearing, but it could be debris getting into the thing. And also, I don't know, the positioning of the thing? I don't think so, though. ABS for gaming. No, it's for my actual car. It's for my actual car that I drive. I thought we were going to be doing something like this on just the one. That would be the two all the way on the left. But I don't think that's the problem though. you would do like a solenoid kicker on the brake pedal if you wanted to do that. I'm ABS-less, yeah, ABS and speedometer-less because the whole fucking thing is right here. I can plug this unit back in and get my speedometer back, but I'm not really going very far tonight. I'm just going to a friend's place nearby. See, look at this. The whole unit just pulls off. It's great. I have a piece of tin foil over mine right now, protecting it from debris. From debris. Debris. That damn Deborah is. So you can see a lot of people fixing theirs, huh? A lot of pictures of people pulling these things apart and fixing them. You know, we don't get to fix ours because ours doesn't show any signs of being broken. I'm still gonna have to glue this thing back together, unfortunately, because there's no sign that this is the problem. The only way that I can really troubleshoot that is to get another module, I guess. This end just floating in goo. Okay, all this stuff. Yeah. What are they fixing? They're fixing a bad bonding wire connection. A lot of people, that's what we're looking up right now. You guys are champing at the bit right now. I understand. It's the mindset of the people that watch this kind of content, is that you want to fix this, you know, you want to solve the problem. So, place the top cover off the ABS motor along the line. Not the best job putting it all back together. Blah, blah, blah. That's when they sent it out, but it's not chomping, it's champing. Champ at the bit. Horses can't chomp at a bit because it's behind their teeth. This is the connection that these guys did. What is that? We don't have that in ours. He's identifying all kinds of locations, but then what they did is take that bond right there. I don't even think we have that in this one. I think this is a slightly different circuit board. Like, where's that double ground? Not that. And the solenoids, or the MOSFETs work just fine. Those bonds are okay. We have a single ground, but I don't think there's any break in that connection. Then we have our triple. Not one over there. I'm just beside myself, Chad. I don't really know what to do. I don't really know what to do because I fully expected that those two larger wires at the bottom there would be disconnected in some way, but they're not. They're completely and utterly connected to one another. And I've ohmed it from the capacitor all the way out of the connector. So, why does this keep happening? I keep going deeper and deeper into things, and it keeps just not having any problems with any of it. This whole thing exists on a giant piece of aluminum. Huh, it's kind of cool. It's a giant heat sink on the back of the ceramic thing. This is a big aluminum substrate. I mean, like, there could be, my thought was that perhaps these are broken, but not showing signs of being broken, and while I was manhandling its bejangles into position, it somehow created a connection again. But it's such a definitive connection that I don't know. Yeah, the ceramic and aluminum circuits that they use for LED lighting stuff. Pretty cool. Like, what's creating the 8 volts? I don't know which one of the processors, which one of the circuit elements here is creating 8-volt power. Look at the double of everything, huh? And it's not like, you know, even if we did identify a problematic, like, chip or module here, it's not like I can replace it. I don't have the ability to do that. You can't exactly desolder and put another silicon substrate down on this thing. I would like to know if my ABS module is the fault now. Because maybe it's not. I don't know. Oh, what a bunch of piss. Actually, wait, I do know. Because I plugged a wheel speed sensor. One of the other things I did when I was testing it is plug a wheel speed sensor into the driver's side wheel and flick metal across it. And that didn't produce any results at all. Or did it? I thought I saw it bounce one of the times that I did it, but I don't think it produced any results. So I know that it's not necessarily that wheel thing. Although if I could jumper one to the other, no, that's not gonna. No, that's gonna wreak havoc on the loop of the circuit. Not like I can just trade sensors back and forth. I need to know whether or not the wheel speed. If I had 2 very long jumper wires, I could plug them into the adjacent wheel and then see if spinning the wheel causes some kind of a read from the computer. Don't worry, I won't solve it. Damn it. I can't believe this. I'm so mad. I think I might rage quit in a minute here because we're just spinning our wheels right now. Haha. I think I'm going to just have to buy a whole new computer. A whole new ABS module. I don't know if that's going to solve the problem or not. That's the big issue right now, is I don't know whether or not a new ABS module is going to actually solve the issue. Like a fucking sunspot burst and a million miles away, a tiny little gamma ray found its way right into the chip that powers the wheel speed sensor on the driver's side and just took it out. I don't understand, though. I really don't. Like, I want to know that this is the problem. That's my issue right now. So I guess what I need to do is get something out. Check the harness between the module and the speed sensor. Yeah. So I unplugged this. I used this exact jumper wire to plug into the square pin header, and then I was able to. I did it in a couple ways actually. I did do point-to-point ohms, and there were low ohms on the multimeter. The multimeter. Then I did it with the vehicle with the speed sensor plugged in and everything buttoned up. Because this is a really easy plug to unplug. You just basically move a big thing out and it unplugs itself. BMW on their larger harnesses love to have these huge connectors that when you move a piece, it like unplugs the connector for you. It's really cool. So between the ECU and the harness, yeah, let me finish. Yeah, it's CAN bus between this and the harness, but because I can plug the computer into it and I can read the module, it is plugged into the CAN bus just fine. And it's one wheel speed sensor that's bad. Everything else reads fine on the piece of software that reads from this module. This thing can give live updates of what its sensor statuses are. So anyway, unplugged it here with the wheel speed sensor plugged in, and I did all of the oscilloscope tests on it to show that it in fact was acting like a wheel speed sensor. The only thing I didn't do was plug it into the oscilloscope. Now I'm kind of regretting that, because it might be that if I plug it into the O-scope with a power source, I might just see that beautiful square wave. I think I need to bring my O-scope into the garage, and I need to take off the top of this connector and put the jumper pins into the test points on the opposite side of this connector so that I can live read from the wheel speed sensor. I don't want to pull my car into the garage and find out that nothing is broken again. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like I need a new ABS module at this point. I don't think it's anything wrong with the wheel, the driver's side wheel, or the bearing, or anything of that nature. Everything is fine. It just doesn't work. I hate this. I hate this. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I'm gonna test it again. I'm gonna test ohms again. Wait, no. The microvolts, no, that wouldn't, polarity would not matter. I don't know about the silver bond wires. They're fine. They're fine. I can poke right here. We get ohms. Well, that's the wrong one. I got 500 kilo ohms on that. I'll go right here. 0.3. Then I flip the wire. And we go to the bottom one. Yeah, I want to know what's wrong so that I'm not just throwing money at it, you know? And if I get a new computer, a new ABS module, and I plug it in, the worst thing in the world would be getting a new ABS module, getting it hooked up, getting it coded to the ECU, because I think I need a different piece of software to get it coded to the ECU. And then, well, I have the software, I just haven't used it yet, which means I might need to put Windows 7 on that laptop. I might need to downgrade Windows. Doing all the work to get the new computer in and then having the exact problem again, that would kill me. I would just die. So I think I need to go back to the car, plug this thing in, and then probe it out again. Oh, what a pain in my ass. But I can test it live, apparently, by plugging into the back of the connector. You dig around enough on these DIYs, and suddenly a very easy solution presents itself right in front of you. I was certain that I would find a broken connector inside of this, but it turns out everything's fine. There's nothing wrong. Why are you worrying? I'm being gaslit by my own car. That's what it is. The fucking car is gaslighting me. I can't believe I stand for this kind of thing. I gotta put my foot down and set up some boundaries. All right, chat. Well, I don't have anything else for you today. I leave myself to just go cry into a bucket for a while because I can't figure out how to fix my own damn car. This is a weird problem that I'm having too. I don't know what I can do from here other than oscilloscope test it, and that's going to be outside. So I'll have to jack up the side of the car, hook the O-scope up, spin a wheel, and then discover that everything's fine. You know, just discover that there's no problem at all, and that my car is continually gaslighting me throughout this entire process. Plug it back in, everything works fine for a while, long enough. Do you think it's okay? I don't think it's going to be one of those issues. It actually manifested as one of those issues. My friend, when he owned the car, everything would start acting a little funky, and so he'd pull over and he'd restart the car, and then that would get rid of the problem, right? He would turn off the motor, turn it back on, and that would sort of cycle it through some stuff, and then it would work for a little while from there. I diagnosed it as a wheel speed sensor problem, and then I actually finally got the computer working, and I verified that it is in fact the wheel speed sensor. It's the front driver's wheel speed sensor. And during my ownership of the car, I had the same form of problem, and then it stopped entirely. The whole thing just stopped working. So it like permanently broke, and that seems very much like you would have a bonding wire that's making sort of partial contact, and then it finally just gets out of whack, and then there's no contact and everything's done. Drink more beer, shout percolate at it, and if it fails, let Fleetari fix it. I wish it was that easy. If I take it to Fleetari, I'm out $3,000 probably. You know, they just charge you out the wazoo for these things. Probably go to a junkyard and find a new one, or maybe I can just do an eBay special for a Bosch 5.7 unit. But yeah, I need to do the O-scope test before I go any further. Fleetari's Bavarian Governor. Unplug the fault indicators in the system panel. Yes. That's a thing, the duct tape test, or the duct tape fix over the ECU. Charge you the Pasca. I haven't studied the language like you. I don't know these words. Damn it, I'm so mad. Yeah, there's nothing else that I can do here. Because it, like, by all means, it should work. I will figure out a way, probably temporarily, I can just tape this back on. Let me put a little piece of like, what tape is going to survive an engine bay? Well, I got one solution for that. At least in the short term. Captain tape. The tapiest of tapey tapes. Because I'm going to reinstall this for the drive to my friend's place. I just need to make sure that I use a tape that's going to survive the trip. And make sure that it is definitively taped down, too. There's not much for me to tape it to here. No, and I don't have that blade working. Pasca's shit. Oh, okay. The one word you need to know. Fixed forever. That was not enough tape. I regret declaring it fixed forever with that one piece of tape. Drive around with vibration. Well, so I need to get the O-scope on it to test it. I'll get it partially back into operation like this, at least with more tape than what I just showed you, by the way. Because Captain tape will at least take the temperatures. It won't be, well, if I get enough tape on it, it'll be sealed. As sealed as it came to me anyway. But for one drive, this should be a bunch of Captain tape should be enough. Although this stuff isn't very sticky on that surface. But the problem being that there's going to be a lot of heat in the engine bay. So I got to put this thing back together in the dark, don't I? Don't I just? How am I going to do the other parts of it? Well, we're going to do just a big mess of pack and tape on this thing, just so I can get it back to the car, at least temporarily, and see what kinds of stuff it has to tell me. I wonder if I should just use, yeah, I should just use gaffers. I'm going to use gaffers on this. since the heat probably won't be all that extreme. It's cold out, and I'm not going on a long trip, so it's literally like a couple blocks away from here, so. Aluminum tape for sealing exhausts. I don't have any. I have the aluminum tape for ducts, and it's it'll turn into soup with the heat that this thing is going to see. So I'm just going to use like gaffers to seal out the environment, and I don't think the gaffers tape will get too hot. I'll have to bring the computer with me too. It's so cheesy when I hook up the computer because I have to run the cable up the hood and out into the driver's or into the passenger compartment of the car. It's wonderfully cheesy. It's really quite a thing. Yeah, this stuff will tape dust to more dust. This stuff will stick to anything. I just don't know how it'll deal with engine temps. The glue will just smear. Use hot glue. Duct stuff is fine. Duct stuff? Huh. I have some of that. I'm just going to use this. It's not raining out. It's very dry out. This will just seal out the environment, and I can see if my speed sensor magically fixes itself, and then I can bring the O-scope out to it at a later date. I'm just so angry right now. I have so much hatred in my heart. So much hatred. We spent all that time on this, and it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna fuck it up. Yeah, so no, I'm okay. I'll just not work. This is kind of a little bit of weak gaffer's tape. The other stuff that I had would stick to everything, but we degreased this. There's only a little bit of grease on it from its stint in the car. Damn it. These are like the weakest scissors known to man. Jesus. Butyl sealer. I don't think I've ever used anything like that, no. Jesus. Gorilla tape is the insanely sticky tape that everybody talks about. I don't know, people love that stuff. I mean, I rarely ever even need gaffer's tape, so I don't really deal in irreversible tapes. Tape that turns to goop. You mean not the silicone stuff that only sticks to itself? Because that stuff is great. That's essentially what flex tape is, but they rebranded it. Snazzy marketing, I guess, is everything in the industry. But I've used those tapes before it was called flex tape. God, it's so rattly with all these solenoids at the bottom. Solenoids will still be able to function. You know, they're attached to the body of this thing, and this will keep out any debris. Basically, that's really the purpose of it. But I'll put that back in the car and just see what's up. Because like the wire connections were fine. If I plug this thing in and it's fine, I'll have to bring it back out here so we can glue the top back on. Or maybe if we're lucky, it'll be fine for like a minute and then it'll stop being fine, and then we can actually diagnose it again. I don't get it. It was a bit like the bagging tape used to use for vacuum fusions, huh? There's a cock. Don't put that into voice to typing, all right? Just do yourself a favor. Or maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's what you want to do. I don't judge. But this is bothering me. God, this is ghetto. I can't Bosch 5.7 ABS unit, huh? What a bunch of crap. What a load of crap this thing has been. Butyl's a super elastomer sealant. Huh. All right. So this ghetto crap thing I'm going to put back into my car, and I'll see if the nature of the problems change at all. We've seen the circuit board. We didn't need to do anything to it. Really, 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 really annoying. Buell that holds the plastic sheet inside the door. Oh. The circuit board is a ceramic substrate that is covered in a gel. And the gel apparently doesn't move at all, even though the default position is vertical for this thing. And there's the vibration of the motor, in addition to all the other stuff that's going on in the car. Heat is the main reason that they went with that type of circuit board. The gel works very much like a Jell-O mold works when you jiggle it around. And so the gel jiggles all around, and the cold welds that the wires are bonded with are stressed out and break. So I thought, in the infinite troubleshooting that I was doing to my car, we narrowed it down. I plugged the computer in and it said, that's the problem. There it is right there. It's the wheel speed sensor. Well, the wheel speed sensor has a little cogwheel in the spindle, and then the wires go back out and around to this thing. There's a connector here. There's a connector at the wheel speed sensor. I tested at this connector that there was in fact a wheel speed sensor plugged in electrically. I saw that. We took wheel speed sensors on the bench, we took a look at how they work, and that they work, and we confirmed that that wheel speed sensor functions. So that leaves the computer. And since this thing has a ceramic circuit board in gel that jiggles like Jell-O, and connections can potentially disconnect, had to test to see whether or not the connection to the plug of this module worked on the board. And so what I did is I took a point, we took a jumper wire, put it on the connection, and then I took the multimeter, multimeter. I've said it wrong so much that my brain does not like to say it right anymore. Weird. I've reprogrammed myself. Anyway, I took the multimeter, there we go, and plugged it in, not at the wire, not before the wire, not after the wire. I plugged it in, I poked it in at a capacitor that is the next step in the circuit. So I had a connection to the outside all the way to the circuit board. We got continuity. So that means that it's not the connection to the module after all that work. So I don't know what the hell is going on. The only other culprits could possibly be that the sensor isn't reading the metal on the wheel, or the big connector isn't making a good connection to the pins. How do I figure that out? I think I need to bring the oscilloscope out to the garage, and I need to plug it into the wheel speed sensor, and then I need to spin the wheel to see if the oscilloscope shows a square wave. I've temporarily taped this thing back up just in case it is still the problem. Even though it probably isn't, I still need to plug it in so that the computer can talk to it and we can figure out what's going on. I'm not doing, Leb keeps wanting me to set up with the phone thing and do like a phone stream. I would love to do that, bring you guys out to the garage, get some of that troubleshooting done. This would have been a good opportunity, but the second I look at the wrong thing, I'm doxxed. So I am going to take this stuff out to the garage and troubleshoot it myself. That means that tomorrow's stream is in jeopardy. We might not do a tomorrow stream. I probably won't do a tomorrow stream because I want to fix my car. It's really fucking killing me. Newspaper over the windows. Yeah, but then they're going to look at the newspaper and say that was delivered at this time. That means you're on this street. You know, you guys are fucking freaks. You did this. You people narrowed my age down to like the month based on the references that I made. Should I make it official? Just set the things for Tuesday? Yeah. I want to get this done. I want to get my car done. Because otherwise it's just up in the air. I don't know what's going on with it. I want ABS. I haven't had ABS for months. I like to move into the 21st century with my car. Thank you, OctoJ. Man, that's really annoying. We have all the parts we need for Burn the Subs, though. So on Tuesday, we're going to work on Burn the Subs. We're going to get that power supply done, right? You keep suggesting things. I need to have the garage open to work in the garage. I'm not working in a closed garage. That's That's terrible. I wouldn't do that to my worst enemy. But I don't know. Maybe one day we'll do a car work stream. Maybe I just don't care if I end up doxing my location. Yeah, it would be nice to do a little shade tree with you guys. It's not a big job though. I just hooking an oscilloscope up and spinning a wheel. It's like 2 steps. I just need to pop off the back of the connector, and I've got all these test points that I can take advantage of. BMW foresaw this, and they put all these fucking test points in the connector. Do it in someone else's garage. I'd love that. That would be awesome. I don't know. Maybe one day I'll be able to get a warehouse for all this stuff. Yeah, but we need to get back to burn the subs, because this stuff is be a man and skid a little. That's what I've been doing for like 3 years, 4 years with this car. I want to get my ABS back, because there were a couple times that I took a stop at a stop sign a little too short, and ended up making 4 squeals. Very, very loud ones that echoed off of the neighborhood that I was in. So I'd rather not be the subject of all that attention. But I'm going to plug this in, watch it just work. That would be the best result. Well, actually, it wouldn't. That wouldn't be the best result, because then it'll go bad again. But if I plug this in, watch it just work. And then it'll continue to be a mystery until it fails. One reflection of the number plate and it's game over. Yeah, I guess you can get all that information. I know on forums and stuff, people will hide their plates because they don't want folks looking them up and stealing their car. It's like, I know everything about this car. Man, after sweating my ass off with that torch and the hot knife, I'm a mess. You guys saw how like smooth my hair was at the beginning of this stream. Now it's just like, it's like ruined. Oh, I'll never sweat again. Actually, no, I'm going to take the dog on a long walk so that I can not feel like hurting things. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I hate problems like this. The intermittent problems that you'll never find an answer to. This is the kind of stuff that keeps people who do embedded systems for like big products, keeps them up at night. Having one little weird intermittent problem in like an audio product, that is a nightmare, a complete nightmare. So I feel for those guys now. I know what they've been through. Yeah, you guys have a good one out there, all right? I don't know where to send you. I never know where to send you guys. Keep an eye out for Flatulent Gonads streaming. I'm gonna watch bad movies with some local friends in a minute here. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. I will be updating the progress of this in my Discord. That's what I usually do. I do it in the general channel. It's technically a stream project now, so I should probably do it in the stream projects. But, you know, keep your ear to the ground. Usually Saturdays are the time when people post, like, cool YouTube videos, because all the makers are coming out with all their videos of that week. But if things are quiet, I'll be posting car updates as they roll in. But, ay, what an ass, you know? I hate it. The same way, even if you plug it back in and magically works, it would piss me off. Yeah, because it means you don't know where the intermittent problem is. You didn't actually solve anything. I mean, I jiggled the wires. That's all I did. I don't know if that counts. So, all right, I will be back on Tuesday until... Oh, Davies is on? I will tell everyone to go watch Davies. I don't want to deal with the raid, because I'm going to go immediately upstairs and unplug. Yeah, thank you for the end card. Octojay's like got the cane, and he's starting to grab me with it, and I'm just like, wait, I have to say goodbye again. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.